there's no time for regrets. I've been flying from town to town, from London to Taiwan. I've been all around the globe trying to protect your soul. We are heroes tonight. We will fly above the sky. We are heroes tonight. I've been all around the globe trying to protect your soul.
Hold me close till I get up. Time is barely on our side. I don't wanna waste what's left. The storms we chase are leading us, and love is all we'll ever trust. Yeah, no, I don't wanna waste what's left. And on we'll go, through the wastelands, through the highways, till my shadow turns to sun rays. And on we'll go, through the wastelands, through the highways, and on we'll go. shadow turns to sun rays, and on we'll go through the wastelands, through the highways, and on we'll go. And we'll grow in number, fueled by them to see the horizon, turn us to thousands. And we'll grow in number, fueled by them to see the horizon, turn us to thousands. And on we'll go through the wastelands, through the highways, till my shadow turns to sun rays, and on we'll go through the wastelands, through the highways, and on we'll go.
Nightmares creep while you and me repeat. This bittersweet heat is suffocating. I'm waiting and always hesitating. Kryptonite desires set my heart afire. Heart on fire. Set my heart afire. With crimson secrets and forbidden bliss, can't stay still, don't stop that thrill. My bones crave your skin, temptation within, mistakes ignite the silence. Nightmares creep while you and me repeat. This bittersweet heat is suffocating. I'm waiting and always hesitating. Kryptonite desires set my heart afire. Heart on fire. Set my heart afire. Yeah.
You're a new recruit to Rainbow Six Siege. You're about to join one of the greatest gaming communities out there, but you may be wondering, what is Rainbow Six? Rainbow Six is a game where multiplayer is at the center of the experience, focusing on gameplay that is just the right mix of tactics, destruction, and unique heroes that we call our operators. This video will help you learn everything you need to know before your first steps in Rainbow Six Siege. Rainbow Six features 3 different team deathmatch online game modes: Hostage, Secure Area, and Bomb. At the beginning of each round, there will be time for preparation. Defenders will be able to set their defenses with a variety of tools and gadgets. Attackers can send drones to recon the map, locate threats, objectives, and prepare their attack. But whether attacking or defending, knowing which operator to choose will have a big impact on your game. Operators are truly the heroes of Rainbow Six Siege, choosing amongst dozens of highly trained operatives from all over the world. Each operator is specialized in either offense or defense, owning tools and gadgets unique to them. Some operator gadgets allow them to set traps. Others excel at breaching. Mastering each skill and gadget will be key to your survival. But choosing your operator is only a fraction of the equation, as an effective team is more than the sum of its parts. In Rainbow Six, you're only as good as your team. So, play with your friends or let the matchmaking pick teammates for you. While there's no respawning and no second chances, once your operator is down, you can still exploit security cameras or remaining player drones to help your team achieve victory. Because each environment brings its own challenges, working, planning, and executing together with your team will be key to your success. There are a variety of maps to choose from, with more being released all the time. No two are alike, so you'll need to adapt your strategy, tactics, and choose your operators accordingly. Some will force close encounters. As for others, mastering medium and long-range engagement will be key. In Rainbow Six Siege, you have to always mind your surroundings. Environmental destruction is core to the game experience. When defending, you'll have to take into consideration that windows, walls, and even ceilings can be breached. So reinforce your position and be ready for anything. Rainbow Six Siege is constantly evolving, with free updates, new maps, and operators. But it's more than a game. It's a thriving community with 25 million players and counting. And the community is more alive than ever. Rainbow Six is a game built for gamers with a competitive spirit who won't back down from a challenge. And now, it's your turn to play.
Ladies and gentlemen, welcome your faces here to week 4 of the Rainbow Six Siege Women's League. Milboss here, joined by Cthulhu this week as we head into the pointy end of the season. We've got some great matches coming up for you this week. But first of all, I want to see how you're going, Cthulhu, and what are you excited for tonight?
Honestly, I'm excited for all of them and doing pretty well. Honestly, tonight's promising to have quite some close matchups through and through.
Yeah, well, we have seen a couple of blowouts throughout the season so far, but tonight I think you're right. We're going to see some pretty close matches. We've got an absolute banger for you first up. It's going to be Vertex going up against Trinity. It's going to be the fight for the top of the ladder going into next week, where I believe it's Vertex taking their week off. And then we have Noot and Enix. We're sort of the mid-table right now. Enix, they've played one game less, so it'll be interesting to see if they're able to jump up the ladder a little bit. But you're going to have to wait a little bit for those games. We're going to have a quick look back at what happened last week.
You gotta get into the room.
In Week 3 of the Esports R6 Women's League, Trinity continued their clean sweep, winning both maps against Enix.
A really good job of dealing with Clash on that particular window. But obviously that's not an option. Aria with a double kill. Triple kill.
Making it 3.
Hart and Binksy.
Oh, Binksy, that angle. Finds the leg. Chucks the nade down, so that's going to finish off. Heart explodes. In background, Burnabear. And Aria, she's gone and got a 3rd kill.
Can she
find a 4th? Oh, she's got the 4th. There you go, Trent. And there we go, Aria. Aria, though, misses her shots there. So the Jaeger of Chi is going to be able to finally find a kill. Take out that #1 player, the top dog on this Trinity squad. Burnabear doing the same thing.
We'll have heard her running up these blue stairs, and there's the pre-fire to take her down.
The second match, we saw Viking Army fight back hard, but Vertex in the end regained the lead and took out both maps.
Trying to move away from there, but she is taken down from the stairs as she runs away from the fuse charge. That's chaotic with the rotation to central hallway.
5 seconds left. Can they make this one work? Weird one, a massive kill onto Qatari. Can they get the diffuser down in time?
Attackers are activating.
There we go. And it's a 1 versus 2. Good luck trying to get on that diffuse there. Brucey and Pivo ping now. How do they approach this? They are getting tagged up. They're getting marked as well. And Nuggin, she's going to find the second one onto Pip. Chaotic and Shy, they have to now retake not only the site, but the diffuser. Oh, through the wall. Pivo ping, good night. Chaotic, she's about to do it. Finds the second one. Third one down around the corner. Doesn't spot her out. Few shots come through. Chrissy, can she find the kill? Absolutely not. And Chaotic goes huge for her team.
We would like to thank our sponsors, Legion Energy and Computer Alliance, as well as our partner Ubisoft, for supporting women in gaming.
Well, there we had it. Week 3 in the bag, and we've got some pretty, on paper, they look like dominant results, but there were a couple of rounds that Viking Army were able to take off Vertex, which makes me super excited for this first matchup.
Yeah, both of these teams so far between Trinity and Vertex have been showing quite some promising, quite some exciting gameplay. So seeing them clash finally against each other should prove to be a really close matchup. Well, and to be honest, I would not be surprised if we will be seeing something across the lines of just 2 draws, maybe even.
Yeah, look, it could definitely go that way. Trinity, they were able to get a 7-0-7-0 for both their maps against Enix, so still looking really strong. They've continued their great form from week 1. Can they do that against Vertex? It's going to be a tough game. We're going to now look at those rankings to fill you in on where everything's looking like at the moment. Vertex right at the top of the leaderboard there. They're looking very unbeatable, but if anyone's going to do it, it's going to be Trinity.
Yeah, and the only reason why Trinity is actually at the moment under Vertex with the score points as well is also just due to the fact that, well, they've played just less games. So
yeah.
I'm thoroughly quite keen to see whether Trinity will be able to push themselves higher above Vertex, or whether we'll be seeing Vertex domination continue through and through.
Yeah, if they continue the way they've been going, Trinity, they're looking at currently an completely unbeaten scoreline in terms of round counts. So if they can keep that up, they're going to shoot to the top there. As you say, reason they're below is just they've had that bye. Vertex, they're going to be having their bye in the final round of the season. Similar thing goes for Viking Army. They've played 6, but they're having their bye round this week. So that will definitely change the shape of the whole season as we know it so far. Vertex, they're going to be had played the most games the entire season after the end of their first series tonight. Then they're just going to have to hope and pray that they get a good run in for the rest of the games for next week as well, going into the finals, because really it's out of their hands after this first series.
Yeah, I mean, all that they can really do is just have a good performance. And I mean, overall, even the maps wise, we'll be seeing soon. They could be pretty close as well. I mean, yeah, but rankings wise, yeah, overall the teams seeming to be getting pretty close to each one another, really.
Yeah, I think definitely Noot's one that for that second series we have to look out for, because they are only on a -6 round difference there. So that could change everything depending on how their result goes tonight as to where they finish up. And same for Enix, -28. Not a great scoreline to start off with, but that can definitely change after tonight. But in terms of the schedule, I briefly mentioned the finals. They're going to be coming up in just a matter of weeks. We've got a 3rd, 4th playoff, and we've also got the grand final, which will be happening after our final round next week. So some really important games coming up this week and next to really solidify that standings, the rankings going into the next part of the finals, get that all going. And that's, I mean, before you know it, it's going to be the end of the first season of the Women's League.
And it's quite exciting just to see how it's evolving. And overall, it's so far as, yeah, we did see a few, like you mentioned, shutout games, but overall, it's been a really exciting season.
Well, here we go. First matchup, as I mentioned, is going to be an absolute screamer. We've got Trinity going up against Vertex, and I don't know, like, this is the one I've been looking forward to for at least the last 2 weeks.
Yeah, I mean, their overall performance on both sides, like we talked before during the rankings as well, is that both of these teams had seen some pretty good shutout rounds. They were able to get some real nice 2-0s in there under their belt. So here, this is probably going to be the clash of titans, really, almost.
Yeah. I mean, yeah, there's no other way to really put it. Like, looking at where these two teams are, the fact that Trinity, their round difference is only 4 rounds behind Vertex, and they've got a whole 2 maps ahead of them, a whole 2 maps to gain. So that could really shape up which way this rankings ends out before the finals. Trinity tonight, they could definitely push it up to first place, but definitely by next week, if they have a good performance again next week when Vertex isn't playing, that could really shot them straight up to the top of the leaderboard. So that's going to be a big one to watch out for. And then, of course, Noot and Enix, they're sort of that mid-pack group of teams. Enix, we haven't been able to see a lot out of them. I feel like they definitely have more to prove. They're a team that I really think should be doing better than they are, but hopefully they'll be able to prove something against Noot, who also probably should be doing better than they are. They've got some really solid names on that roster, and so it's surprising to see them in the middle of the rankings here.
Yeah, and I mean, I believe it was Noot who actually had a bit of a roster change as well, so I reckon they might be coming out a little bit quite stronger, actually.
Yeah, well, what we've seen happen is Lil Sassy has unfortunately had to drop out of the season. She's headed back home to Canada, I believe, to be with her family in the current situation. So no hard feelings there, of course. And they've been able to pick up Mazakine from Vertex. So I believe Mazakine was a substitute. I'm not 100% sure on that. Don't quote me, but she's jumped over to now help out this Noot roster, which is going to give them that little bit extra to be able to finish out the season. So hopefully that helps them a little bit. But yeah, like, we've seen some pretty decent plays from these guys. Connie is a household female esports player in the APAC scene, so we've known about her from other games as well. She's proven to have some pretty good smarts on her when it comes to Rainbow Six as well. So that's why I'm surprised. You know, someone with a team with Connie on it, I'm surprised that they are that mid-pack. I would have expected them a little bit higher, but definitely keen to see if she's able to now, with this roster change, make something else happen. Maybe they've unlocked something that they didn't have with Sassy.
Yeah, and we'll get to see that very thing, well, that trial essentially happen after the first game, which I'm thoroughly keen. But let's also take a look at Enix as well roster that we have. So we got, I don't think there was any big change really, but that roster did show us a fair few good rounds, at least last time I did see them play.
Yeah, I think it's fair to say that they definitely have some sort of structure to them. A couple of the teams being pick-up teams for this league, not really having that sort of time to prepare and scrim and actually build some sort of I don't know, structure. Yeah, I said structure way too many times, but actually being able to come up with some sort of plan hasn't happened for a couple of the teams. But, we've seen players like Chi. She's come from the Call of Duty scene, and she's actually surprised me with how solid she's been. Burner Bear really shocked me last week. Had a great series. So as much as they weren't able to pick up any rounds, I believe, against Trinity, they still put on a couple of good shows there. So I'm keen to see them bring it to maybe a team that's just a little bit closer to their sort of level.
Yeah, I mean, between Enix and Noot, this should be a pretty close matchup, and just overall should be just an absolute barn burner. Let's quickly take a look, though, at the rosters that we'll be playing first. So now let's take a peek at Trinity's roster, as we will be seeing the first roster. Well, firstly, the one that we'll be playing tonight. So there we go. Any kind of standing out so far for you, Milboss?
Honestly, this whole team's been pretty solid. I can't really put a finger on one player that's like stood out above the rest. They've all really had their moments and had some really solid showings. I can't just put my finger on one and say they're the best on the team, or that I can remember a specific sick round for them. They're working as a very solid unit, and that's why they're flawless right now. They're just working solidly as a team. They don't have to have this star player on a pedestal that they have to work around. They are all contributing equally, and it's really showing.
Yeah, and let's take a look at now their opponents, Vertex, as well, who are going to be versing them in an attempt to keep their first place here.
Yeah, I mean, it's a crucial one for them, because if they lose even a map here, that could spell the end of them being first at the end of the season, because they aren't going to be playing next week. Now, you asked me if there was a standout player on the Trinity team. This team, I think there is. I think it's fair to say a couple of players have had a few rounds where you're like, holy crap, these guys are insane individually. Can they do that as a team as well as Trinity? Not too sure. Qatari, she's had a few very solid rounds. Buddha, massive rounds, a few 4Ks that have really blown my mind. Chicken Nugget as well, every now and again comes up with a nice clutch up or something like that. So a couple of really good rounds from each of these players.
All right, and well, I do believe we also have the map bans as well to be shown here, Milboss. Let's quickly take a look. So we will be seeing Clubhouse and Bank to be played out here. Any kind of first thoughts?
I mean, well, this is the first time we're going to be seeing the new Clubhouse, I believe, in the Women's League. So that's going to be interesting to see if that really has some sort of impact. If it is something that Trinity's worked on and they've come up with a game plan for this. As I said, they've been working pretty well as a team, so it could be the case that they've come up with some sort of strategy that is new, that the new redesign of the map can sort of allow for. Because one of the main things I think when I was watching, being at the launch event for Year 5 at Fortress in Melbourne, watching the fly-through of this map is that it's a lot brighter, a lot lighter, a lot easier to see players. The contrast against the background is going to be a lot easier to spot players out. So if that plays a massive factor, I don't know. I haven't seen it played out yet. But apart from that, I think it's a pretty safe pick. I mean, everyone knows how to play Clubhouse. It's been a staple of competitive Siege for a long time. So, yeah.
All right, well, we got a quick video to go over right before Clubhouse to go. Let's quickly take a peek at that.
Okay, here we go, Cthulhu. The map, or the series, I think we've all been waiting for here in the Women's League. It's going to be Trinity and Vertex. Let's get into the operator ban phase. Anything that you think we're going to see here that is going to be a little bit different to what we've seen already?
Yeah, I mean, well, Maverick to be banned out, that is something that is fairly standard for Clubhouse, especially in higher ends of competitive play. He's quite annoying to play against, and, well, quick follow-up will be the Capitao. So that is going to be ensuring a little bit easier ground for bandit tricking here for the defense side.
And we've got the defense. First defensive ban is going to be Echo. Nothing too crazy there. Yokai drone going to be a massive help, but now we go into Vertex's ban. See how they approach this one. It's going to be Mira. No surprises there. I don't think I've seen a single map this entire season that Mira hasn't been banned, so not a single surprise there.
And Mira does tend to change the playstyle of the defense and just turns things around on quite a fair few of the sites. So yeah, I'm on the same ground. I'm not really surprised that she's banned out. Okay, all right. Quickly.
Operator select. Now, nothing out of the ordinary to speak of. And Thatcher not being banned out is going to be a massive help up against that bandit trapping. We're going to get a couple of 6-picks go through. Monty's going to come in for IQ.
Yeah, that is a little bit of a odd choice, considering that IQ here on this side will be quite powerful on, to at the very least scout out for some of the electronics. Yes, she won't be able to really shoot through that floor at the west wall, but apart from that, really, well, I mean, Monty should be a pretty decent pick as well, considering that he's going to be able to pressure some nice pushes as well.
Oh,
and
pretty standard setup here.
10 seconds
Too
left
crazy.
before insertion.
I just like the textures of the new redesign of the map. It just looks nice.
Yeah, ever since the introduction of the construction site here in the middle in between the bedroom and the cash room, it's definitely became much more viable to play from above, and gym bedroom, or for that matter CCTV and cash, have become two pretty much top of the line sites, really. Interestingly enough, so far Trinity are looking like they're just going to be going for a take of the garage, and well, Cortari straight away strikes back.
Yeah, opening things up. Good start for Vertex, and this is one of the things that they've really played off this season, is getting that first initial pick. They've been the masters of the first blood, if I'm being honest. It's worked out in their favor time and time again. Is that going to be the key to success tonight for them up against Trinity? Probably the hardest opposition I'd say they've had to face so far.
Yeah, this could definitely prove to be quite a run for their reputation, actually, for both of these teams. Considering that both of them had some pretty nice set of rounds prior to this very game, but yeah, overall, I mean, so far it looks like a fairly confident push, albeit that Trinity did lose as Sophia early into the round, but I mean, so far they still have all the utility to really get rid of any of the reinforcements and get all the breaches going.
Yeah, I mean, they've kept the two probably most important operators, in the sense you've got your Thatcher and your where's my brain going blank?
Thatcher and Thermite really being...
That's the one, Thermite!
Yeah.
There it is!
Yeah, there we go. Yeah. But interestingly enough, though, the impact trick was full on there to deny the Thermite charge, so no bandit tricking, no none of that. It's literally just the sheer explosives that are actually going to be damaging the Montagne quite a bit as well.
Yeah, Trip's quite weak. Oh no, there goes the Thermite. Down, but not out just yet. Pi should get picked up here, so it's not game over just yet. There we go. Buddha just being a nuisance, absolute pest here.
And Buddha still has one more impact charge, so that can be played in full. But interestingly enough, Qatari once again on the flank will be there to catch a second frag, but will get traded out pretty swiftly there by Yummy Steaks.
Yeah,
Finally a frag for Trinity here. Here comes the Monty, but no, Buddha got other ideas and somehow survives that one.
15
With
seconds
a
to go.
measly about 5 HP. She's going to get pushed in by the Thatcher. That's going to be yummy.
Recovered their diffuser. 10
Someone's going to find the first one.
Drop the bomb diffuser.
Let's get traded out. A 1 versus 3 now for the 5 HP here on Pi. Can she do it with 1 second left? It's not going to happen. That's going to be first round
You are out of
in the
time.
bag here for Vertex. So, establishing a little bit of early dominance here.
Yeah, early dominance is definitely a good sign here for Vertex to kick things off really nicely. As even the fact that they've picked what is usually considered more of a tertiary site, being gym and bedroom, that is a really good beginning for a potential maybe even shutout here, honestly. If things will keep going the way that they've went so far in round number 1, this could be huge here for Vertex.
Yeah. Massive start for them to get that opening defensive round. And see, Cripps deciding to stay on the Monty, going for the 6 pick again off of Jackal.
Attackers need to
It's one controversial pick into another.
Yeah, look, after the relative ineffectiveness of Monty in the first round, I don't know if I'd be sticking on that one, but if she's confident with it, I'm going to take her word for it. So let's now head into second round setup again. Probably going to be pretty set standard.
Yeah, I mean, so far this time at the very least, Trinity will have an IQ to be able to ensure that even if, say, the Thatcher grenades won't be able to do anything to the Bandit, at the very least, the IQ should be able to shoot through the floor there. So,
5 seconds
yeah,
left before insertion.
that at the very least. So, even, they will have a plan B here, Trinity, compared to what they had in round number 1. So, at least from the utility standpoint of view, they sorted on that.
And I think that's going to have to be the meta really here, if you will, of sending your IQ underneath where the bandit tricking is going to happen. Lola there, you can see, just holding up against that wall. Clearly the plan that she's going for is to bandit trick that. Qatari going for some early aggression here, as you'd expect. His alibi. You've even got Buddha up there as well, so by Maestro doing the work here. Lola down, very weak though. This is not helpful when it's your bandit trick.
And that is actually Minxie from below, actually, who did do quite some damage with those impact grenades, and she'll be able to actually deny the bandit's position, but instead it will be Lola denying the head of Minxie. Oh my.
She says second as well, she should get the second kill as well. Chaotic's actually going to steal that one from her, but in the meantime, they have been able to open up that wall, so that does give the entrance here to Trinity. The Monty again failing to make much of an impact here as Qatari holding down Garage. Now it's just Pi and Yummy. Thatcher and Thermite up against all 5 players of Vertex, and Lawler's the only one who's even slightly damaged. She's down to about 10 HP, maybe a little bit less. The rest of the team, all full health.
Yeah, and I gotta give it to Vertex. Their duo hold in the garage was really well coordinated between distracting the Monty with the evil eye cameras and then having Qatari bait in for the close range fights. It really worked out pretty well.
Taking it slow now. They've still got a minute left, so no need to rush it, but my advice to you two girls is you need to click heads from here on out. Can't afford to waste time on any spray downs, and that should be the first opening frag. There you go, Buddha. The Italian Stallion gonna be the first to drop.
So far it looks pretty calm here for Vertex, albeit that is a cheeky angle that Lola is holding.
Yeah. She can't take many chances. Oh, she spots the player. Can't find the kill. Qatari gonna be able to find yet another frag, and so far so good. 4-1. Vertex, they're gonna pick up round number 2.
That was a really good as well crossfire there by Vertex, having the Jaeger and the smoke already take some of the attention away, and managed to find the final frag. So a good beginning overall here for Vertex. 2 rounds in a row. Definitely seeming to be working out quite well on defense.
Yeah, I mean, if there's anything we can say about Vertex this season, their defense has been very, very solid. It's one of the things that I've been surprised at how good they've been, and so far they're making light work of Trinity here. It's not even close.
I mean, look at as well at Cortari as well. She is the one that is currently leading the charge with Chaotic Babe as well on the second place kills wise. So already a really good beginning for both those players.
Well, yeah, a disparity in terms of the kill count. You look at the Trinity side of things, and you've only got 2 players who have been able to find any kills at all. So now we head downstairs to the basement. Let's see how things go here. Right now, though, is anyone upstairs going for the kitchen hatch?
It's just the kitchen hatch.
Yes,
Yeah,
we do.
there's
Okay, good.
shot, okay.
I was going to say, because the last time we saw Clubhouse, that was ignored multiple times, and it did give me a couple of headaches, I'm not going to lie. It's nice to see that they've thought about that one, and through to there, she's going to be able to find another hatch. Shy's going to get the one in the bar, and that should be the verticality, at least limited, restricted for the start of the attacking phase, the action phase, sorry, as we get that underway.
Yeah, definitely having those hatches reinforced is going to be making things a whole lot better there for Vertex, but the main storyline here for me is Chaotic and Cortari at the top floor. Now this could be saucy, especially with the fact that I believe Cortari just got droned out, if I'm not mistaken. I wasn't able to catch that.
I think she did, yeah. They're trying to go for some sort of random fast play here. Yeah, she's definitely been spotted out there, Cortari. Ain't gonna make it out of this one alive. She's lucky if she's got 30 HP left now. And I think she was able to trade a couple of shots into Arya. She was indeed, so 25 damage around abouts, but
Chaotic's got also spotted as well by the drone. So right now, Trinity are full aware about the position of the 2 roamers. So probably the better idea will be just to default back to the side, as I do believe that there's still, the rotation has not been cut off yet. The window is still fully intact there.
yeah. I mean, they seem to be committing to this. Chaotic's still getting droned out. Yeah, they're just going for shots through the wall. There you go. Minxie finds the first onto Chaotic. Cortari will trade one onto Arya, but needless to say, the damage has been done. The roam not going to be as effective as it was to begin with.
Okay.
Cortari trying to watch her back.
Yeah, did expose her position that she was in, well, is now in stock room, but will be promptly falling behind, as I believe Yummy Steaks might be just on the lookout for that window. No, she does actually get off that at the worst possible timing, probably, which should allow Cortari to really, default. She did default back to the side. So overall, I mean, decent trade. It is a 4v4, but already 2 minutes wasted, and that is huge for Vertex here.
Yeah, I mean, especially seeing that they were able to maintain that roam upstairs really has halted the progression here of Trinity, and they haven't been able to make their way downstairs as quickly as they would have liked to. They have been able to get the first hatch open, but 35 seconds remain. Not a hell of a lot of time to work with, and it's going to become one of those situations where you just have to bum rush in and hope for the best. Flick a couple of heads. Free fire going in.
Yeah. It looks like a pretty solid setup here, but everything can really happen with such little amount of time, as the push needs to happen. There's the kill by Cortari onto Minxie, so the numbers will be dwindling quite quickly here for Trinity, as in the 2v4. Things might be looking a little bit dicey.
Crips had to find that second kill onto Cortari, isn't able to do it, and time will run out. Vertex winning round number 3.
Okay,
so far, so good for them.
Yeah, most definitely. I mean, 3 rounds in a row, that is a very good showcase, especially on the fact that they've won on all of the main sides that are usually being played within competitive Siege on Clubhouse. So, yeah, I mean, that is impressive. Gotta give it to them.
Well, now we're going back up to gym and bedroom.
Okay, so here will be probably a question of will Trinity be able to adapt to how Vertex usually would defend this side, considering that they already got the taste of, well, the general approach, albeit that it was mainly the only advancement that Trinity were able to make on the first round was towards the cash room. But I mean, still,
Attackers need to locate
one would
and
hope
defuse
that they would
bombs.
have some more utility to get rid of, and well, obviously at this point they don't have the Monty anymore, so instead they got the IQ, so a bit more of the firepower in general.
Yeah, I was going to point that out, that this time around, thank the Lord, the heavens above, that we don't have another Monty play. I think that's definitely one of those things, like, these guys, they haven't played each other yet, so they're going to have to play it by ear, and Trinity, they've seen how Vertex play on Gym, start things off. Now's the chance where they can learn from that and try and make some changes to their attack to try and counter what they learned in that first round, if they have learned something at all. I know it can be hard to really try and learn on the run in the middle of a game, but here we go. Action phase round number 4.
Main thing here
what you
is,
got?
yeah, what I would love to see from Trinity's offense is, especially on stuff like even Cash and CCTV, Gym and Bedroom, bring in some frag grenades, because the moment you open up these the holes above the reinforcements and you drain out the Jaeger ADSs, which is, in this case it's only one, throw in a frag grenade, that'll easily flush out the castle. But alas, that won't be the case here, but this could be a pretty big wild card out here.
Yeah, that could be a game change for sure.
Drop the diffuser. Attackers recovered the bomb diffuser.
Okay, so the breach, okay. Oh.
Good start for him, finally finding that first frag. Ari is going to open things up onto Katari, who's been an absolute pest for them so far, and that's the alibi down.
Device is going dark.
It's a good beginning. Getting that initial first blood is certainly going to be putting quite some strain on the rest of the Vertex roster.
Yeah, Arya still peeking into bedroom there. She's got one more to deal with, that's going to be Shy. But the positioning of that alibi hologram could be a game changer here, as Zofia of Minxie should get a tag on that concussion there. Arya's going to find yet another one on Tabuta, so really good start here from Trinity. It looks like they have done exactly that. They've learned from their mistakes, round number 1. And here we go. Arya, she's taken a little bit of damage, but so far so good. The bandit trick's going to come in just in time. But now they know exactly where Lola's going to be playing from. Chaotic, some shot through, doesn't manage to connect with much more than a bit of damage.
Attackers have dropped the bomb diffuser.
Finally, the refrag.
Yeah, finally there's a refrag as well, so Minxie to go down, albeit that after she used up all her utility. It'll be a bit still tough for the defensive side to deal with, but Crips right now opening up yet another entry hole here for herself into the construction. But with so little time, the push needs to happen sometime soon, and there is a chance that Trinity will be able to overpower with just the sheer numbers here.
Yeah, I mean, that's got to be their attack right now, and they've been able to find one more kill onto Shy. Arya taking a little bit of damage there. She will go down in the trade. Lola finding that kill. But only 10 seconds remaining now. You need to get onto the site. You need to get that diffuser down. In fact, I think they've dropped the diffuser, if I'm not mistaken. Lola, she's going to find yet another one. She could find a third here. Doesn't even matter. Time runs out, and
Operators, you are out of time.
Vertex somehow come away with that one after being down by 2 players already.
That was so...
Just letting it slip at the last second.
Oh man, that will be a bit of a tilter there. I gotta say, considering that this was probably one of the closer rounds for Trinity to take away from Vertex, and unfortunately for them, I guess they dropped the diffuser just outside of the site, and well, that is quite unfortunate for them, considering that the only now scoreline that they can be promised here is a 4-2, and that will be the best case scenario, which is, I mean, it's not too bad per se, but with the fact that Vertex are only 2 rounds away from a match point, is definitely going to be putting quite a strain there.
Attackers need to locate.
Yeah, I mean, it seemed like for the most part that round they had learned from their mistakes from what they've been screwing up so far, but then all of a sudden they just collapsed in the last moment, and I think, if I'm not mistaken, Aria had the diffuser there, so that was dropped with 10 seconds left. They would have had to recover that and get it down with minimal time remaining, and still 2 players from Vertex alive. Lola just staying alive, playing time. Played that one to perfection. I can't fault her on that. Really just won that one for her team.
Probably was blasting in the ears as well. Staying alive, ha, 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 ha.
Literally. Sometimes in those situations, it's not worth going for that push. It's worth just staying alive and making sure that your team has someone there to just annoy the players and delay them long enough so they can't get the diffuser down. It's as simple as that.
Yeah. And that actually just shows just the beauty of Siege as well. You don't really need to go continuously full fragger mode and just be an absolute gunner. As long as you are able to drain the time and force the opposing team, and just that slight pressure, that slight feeling of haste is all you really need.
And definitely in situations like this where it's ooh, shots just missing there, Qatari doesn't find that kill.
How's the timing work like this? Holy.
Welcome to video games.
Yeah, that is true. That is true, Milboss.
I mean, seriously, like, apart from what we've really mentioned, just the learning from the mistakes from previous rounds, is there anything noticeable that you could say Trinity can do to really get back into this one? Because right now, they just seem like the teamwork I was talking them up for in the intro, it's just completely gone.
I mean, so far they've been doing quite some good changes. The previous round, albeit that it did go in favor of Vertex, it was still nonetheless a good attempt at that. And right now, if Trinity will be able to emphasize off Cripps' push and have her utilize the Inox model here to track at least the roamers, this could be a good beginning here. To just get rid of the roam, get rid of that kind of thought at the back of your head, thinking, hey, we need to keep an eye out on the flank, and then go in for a push should make things much easier for them.
Well,
okay.
The roam downstairs right now just going to be delaying that push even more by Trinity, and that's going to be Buddha finding the first frag.
Ooh, but instantly traded out as well.
Yeah, the trade comes through straight away, which is handy. The Qatari trades right back. The Alibi. Constant nuisance this entire game so far. Qatari's just been on point. She goes for that drop down. Cripps is going to fall to the hands of Chaotic, and this is just looking like a repeat of round number 2. Vertex, their defense just way too strong, and Trinity don't know what to do about it.
This is not looking all swell here right now. Trinity definitely seeming to be losing out on a fair few of the opportunities, and it just seems they're getting caught out on some of the really unfortunate timing as well. It's just the way how whenever they go in for the peak, there's already either a wild Qatari or just in general any Vertex player, and well, with the diffuser starting being left out completely, all Bias is just gonna get knifed, and well, things are not looking all sweet there for Trinity. Vertex 5 rounds in a row. That's gotta sting.
I mean, say goodbye to that flawless record, Trinity. Vertex, they're gunning for it. This game so far hasn't been anywhere near as close as I would have thought it would be. I mean, we've only really had one close round, that second rotation of the gym bomb. Every other round, it's just felt like a blowout. That Vertex, they're finishing the rounds with at least 3 players alive, if not all 5.
Imagine how much of a flex it's going to be by Vertex if even in the match against probably with their biggest adversaries throughout the whole Women's League, they end up pulling 7-0.
That would be a big PP play.
Yeah, that would be a flex and a half, honestly.
Well, here we go. Back downstairs, back in the basement. Back listening to some tunes. I don't know what these girls listen to, but here we go. Set up pretty standard. Shy, she's going to go for reinforcing those hatches once again. And
I like
see Trinity.
I like the fact that we are seeing some changes in the lineup of Vertex whenever they're on offense, because they have been bringing in some of the other operators as well. This time we do see a Legion as well for the second time in a row. That so far did have some emphasis on slowing down even further the whole offense, but here I reckon that operator should make an even bigger difference.
Yeah, and Qatari, she's back on the Mozzie, which I think last time we saw we were at this set of bombs as well. So seems to be something, a comfort pick maybe for her, specifically down in the basement.
Yeah, I started to get a feel really that no matter which operator Qatari is going to be on, she's going to just frag out like mad.
Yeah, look, I think right now no one else in this server really has the gun skill to match. Oh, look at that. Qatari, that's dirty. You can't do that. This is a Pro League game.
That is what we call a certified good night by Qatari, but if she manages to get a lineup and kill a down IQ, oh, the push.
This is ballsy. Oh, she might just find two here. She gets the first. No, she's going to get traded out, but in the background, Chaotic's going to be able to find one onto Yummy. So it does keep the player advantage in the hands of Vertex here. So, Qatari, she went for it. Didn't plan out, but doesn't matter.
And just like that, the overall just pace of the push is going to be thwarted quite severely here for Trinity, as it's starting to look like it might be a 6-0 half, which definitely going to be raising quite a few concerns here for Trinity.
Yeah, I mean, this is what we saw last time we were on these bomb sites. Is they were able to find that one hatch, but they really didn't make it down until the final second, and they were just delayed long enough that they couldn't actually make it out and get that diffuser down. And once again, we're running the clock down quite a lot. 1 minute 10 seconds remaining.
And losing out on the only operator that has frag grenades as well is certainly going to be hurting the economy, the utility economy, quite severely as well. Considering that you would really need, at least for some of these positions, to use those frag grenades. But alas, it's just instead, just Chaotic just looks at it and says, just click heads. Why would you need utility?
Exactly. Right now, Pi and Crip's last two left. At least they've got the diffuser this time around. But 30 seconds left. It's becoming another one of those situations, same time that we saw last time on these bombs, that you just need to run in and try and get those kills and click some heads, and that's really not what you want to see.
Some naughty.
Yeah, look, the murder hole's coming through thick and fast here for Chaotic.
15 seconds.
Her squad. 15 seconds left. First player's going to go down. That's Crips. All up to Pi. Can't find a single kill. So there we go. Vertex, a flawless half here. 6 rounds to nothing.
That is huge there for Vertex. Like, we talked earlier on saying that Vertex here will need to keep up their pace. They will need to keep up their the wins if they want to stay on the first place, because they also had not as much of a round difference there. But I gotta give it to them. I don't think they're planning to take any hostages here.
Yeah, look, I don't think that's even on their minds at all here as we go into the first defensive round here for Trinity. Can they try and bring this one back? This so far has been, yeah, look, I just didn't expect it to happen. This is what we've seen Trinity do week in, week out, is absolutely smash the other teams who are underneath them. But right now, Vertex, I mean, they're measuring sausages right now, if you catch my drift. They are seeing who's got the biggest one, and it's gonna be Vertex right now, 6-0, an absolute demolition derby.
I wouldn't even call it this one a demolition derby. This seems like just a complete bloodbath.
It's like when you get a full 5-stack and you just go into casual games and you play as if it's a pro game. Like, it's just one of those situations. They are not holding any prisoners, as you said, no hostages, no nothing. They're just ruthless. But will their attack be the same? That's something we haven't seen so far up against Trinity. Trinity, what's your defense like? Can you handle the Vertex.
Looking at the overall utility here for Trinity, they have all that they really need. They have the Jaeger ADS devices to chew up some of these grenades. They have the castle barricades to slow down the push. They even got the Valkyrie, who I don't think really seen any action whatsoever, but that is quite an interesting setup of the castle barricades, but I don't think Cortari is really going to care about them.
No, that doesn't seem to be something that she's going to worry about. Right now, she's just worrying about finding kills. 10 and 3 right now, an absolute demolition from her individually. Shy on the Vertex side of things hasn't been able to find a kill just as of yet, but honestly, I doubt there's been anyone to find because Qatari, Chaotic, and Lola have just been shutting things down. Buddha as well has had some phenomenal rounds so far this whole season long, and she's only got 2 kills. So, you know, when you've got teammates popping off like this, don't really have much more to do.
What we did, though, just witness is the fact that Yummy Steaks was able to banditry both of the thermite charges whilst having Chaotic watch over that hole, but had a bit of a misplay there and miscalculation, which that's going to hurt a little bit on Vertex potential success here, but that also forces them now to go in through all of these choke points that Trinity has set up, and that is huge.
Yeah, massive for Trinity. And they're going to be able to find that first frag and the second because of it. Vertex. They respond with one. Surely. Chaotic finds the second kill, but in the background, Minxie, she's going to be able to find yet another one. There we have it. Yummy Steaks going down, so 2 versus 2, but the HP in favor of Trinity here. Can they close it out?
Main thing here is the fact that right now Vertex still has quite some time to actually reform, drone it out, and just get some plays going. Chaotic still has both of her drones still fully alive and kicking, so right now, well, she had the chance, but not anymore. Shy will be actually going in into the peak and does find the head of the Maestro, so now it's all in a 1v1 situation with 35 seconds left to go. And let's take a look at where Minxie is. Ooh.
Oh, she's giving it away though. Right, the rotation hold would work out for it. Shy's got 20 seconds to work with. She's found that first elusive kill. And she's actually gone down the stairs, so can she go for the kill here?
10 seconds remaining.
Playing this one by ear. Oh, that's gonna do it. There we go. Trinity finally getting on the board. Finally showing that they've got something up their sleeve here, and this could not have been played any better.
That was a really good overall performance here by Trinity. Finally managing to find that that momentum back in their favor, and at the very least not allowing Vertex to get this 7-0 win. So, well done.
Here we go. Second defensive round for him, as we're going to be heading to Church and Arsenal room. That's a interesting choice, but a choice nonetheless.
I mean, Church and Arsenal is one of those rather more preferable sites usually in the competitive siege, as you either kick things off on CCTV or Church, as they're usually much more favorable for defense, whereas Gym Bedroom is one of those sites that's usually expected to be won by the offense, considering it's more of a tertiary site, at least within the general pro league. But maybe there's a difference here.
Oh. For the most part, Trinity, they're going to want to, they've found that first round. Good start, but they need to build on that. They need to start having players stay alive longer. They need to stop giving up some relatively easy frags that Vertex have found, especially Qatari. But, if there's anything to do, make sure you do shut down Qatari and Chaotic early on, because you leave Shy in that 1 versus 2 situation, and she only found her first kill in that situation. So, definitely there's someone you want to go up against in a 2vx situation. It's going to be, or 2v1, it's going to be Shy. So, right now, maybe not feeling herself so much.
I mean, so far Vertex are being pretty quick on on the push as well, considering that there still is Minxie and Arya who are on their own, but they're quickly defaulting back to the site. So that is a pretty swift control take of the top floor here by Vertex.
Yeah, solid initial offensive push, and how do they now approach going downstairs?
At the moment it looks pretty stable here for Vertex, considering that, well, they got the breaches in the supply room, they got the entry into the bar, but a wild Arya appears on the flank.
Arya really needs to be the one to step it up here. She's had a few situations where she could have found a lot more kills than she has so far. And being in this roaming position, she's going to need to step up like crazy. A couple of players below her, although she hasn't spotted them just yet.
Disabling electronic activated.
Still on that roam, and I do believe that for now Vertex just decided to not even go for the peak, as Shai's actually could be running into the sights of the above roaming Jaeger, but that won't be the case here. And well, for now it's just Vertex setting up for potential push, but here is how will Arya execute her position here. Uh-oh.
Play it patient. Oh no, the shot's whiffed a little bit there. She has to back out of there, but Chaotic in the meantime does get a couple of bullets to the back, so she's going to be very weak. Zofia goes down, and that's a good start to the hold here for Trinity, but they need to find some more. Arya, she will. Buddha, that's the one out of action, and they're doing exactly what I said they needed to do. Need to keep some players alive. It's just Katari up against 5, and good luck, my friend. She might be able to find 1 or 2, but that's if she's lucky. They're just going to collapse around here. Shots coming in left, right, and center in Trinity. They're going to be able to win their second round, and it's going to be a flawless one.
Yeah, flawless round. That is a good way to really clap back at Vertex, and well, this could be also a good round for Trinity to actually go for a comeback here.
Yeah, I mean, it's the catalyst for change, the catalyst for start as we head up to gym and bedroom. And for the most part, the setup here for the defense side has not changed for the most part. I think I saw Crips in the first round of the second half go for the 6th pick over towards Smoke, but she looks like she's going to be sticking to mute for now. Valkyrie has been Minxie's operator of choice as well, and I haven't really been seeing where she's been placing those cameras, but I'm sure she's got better ideas about where to put them than I would, so I'm not going to comment on that. As we go into their third defensive round, scoreline starting to look a little bit closer than it felt like at the start of this half.
Yeah, this is most certainly has all the ground now to really be pushed into a draw here between the two teams, because for one, there's quite still some pressure on Trinity to really try to push it as much as possible, considering that they don't really have any other chance to really lose out on this map, considering that, well, one more win for Vertex and they take away that map. But as well as that for Vertex, well, they might be getting into that mentality of, hey, we just need only a single round. What could possibly go wrong? And well, everything that is possible so far is going wrong here.
Yeah.
For Vertex.
Well, I did see something that I liked out of Vertex in that last round. They went for the hatch in bar area, and they put the thermite charge down, and then the Thatcher EMP grenade went down, so it popped just before the thermite charge did. So it's nice to see them coordinating those sorts of plays and really thinking about what could happen when it comes to any sort of bandit traps and that sort of thing. So nicely done, but it looks like they're just going for a little party out on the patio. Enjoying the sun. Maybe having a couple of Coronas, who knows?
The interesting is the fact that Yummy Steak's just flat out fallen back to that very position in the bathroom, which could have really been contested, considering that both of these castle barricades are still there. So it's a little bit confusing to me, but maybe there's a bigger plan to bait in Vertex right into the choke point.
Yeah, look, it's either one of two options right now. Oh, this could be good. There's one of two options.
Okay.
It's either she's out of options or there is a plan.
Could be,
Potential flank
good night.
there. Oh, Mixie, nice! One tap there onto Buddha. And that's going to send her straight to sleep as the drone should come on through. Drop down here. Aggressive from Kotari, but if anyone's going to be able to make it work, it's going to be her. Lola will find that trade.
Yeah, Lola finally finding a trade, and it's a trade onto Ari as well, the person who was quite an aggressive player in the previous round. It's a good beginning as well as that. Krebs to go down, so now the man count is actually in favor of Vertex here, and this could be the round where they could win out.
They're able to find that kill onto Minxie as well. Yummy Sace goes down, and that might just be all she wrote here. As it's just up to Pi. 4 more players to find. Can she do it? One just around the corner.
Single shot there on with the UMP onto Sophia will be pretty much the end of her. So if she does manage to land that shot, she could just do it, but no. But no, as that is a GG for map number 1, ladies and gentlemen. As Vertex take it with a 7-2 scoreline, which I don't think either of us really expected in this match.
No, not like that. Didn't expect it to be so quick, and definitely didn't expect it to be so one-sided. That was not what I wanted to see necessarily, especially considering that was Trinity's map pick as well.
Ooh.
So, pardon me, we've got Bank coming up next, but I don't know. Now we're heading to Trinity's map pick. This is not looking good for. Sorry, this is Vertex's map pick coming up, so it's not looking good for Trinity.
Yeah, not at all. I mean, for Trinity, things are looking a little bit grim here, considering that, well, things initially on paper looked like Trinity might have made the big play here and a big upset, but it seems that really Vertex just said, you know what, we're not going to let you do that.
Yeah. More or less, it seems that way. I don't really know what to break down from that. Vertex just dominant the whole way through. A couple of good rounds there from Trinity. I guess you could say 3 decent rounds. One they almost won. They choked the last second. If anything, their attacks they waited a bit too long sometimes. That's probably the most accurate thing I can say about that. But otherwise, it's just not what you want to see from Trinity, who have so far been performing really well. So we're going to head to map number 2, which will be Bank, as I said. We're going to go to a very quick break. Once we are back, it's going to be an absolute ripper of a map 2.
In week 3 of the XPWL R6 Women's League, Trinity continued their clean sweep, winning both maps against Enix.
A really good job of dealing with Clash on that particular window. But obviously that's not an option. Aria with a double kill.
Drop the bomb to
Triple kill.
Making it 3.
Hart and Binksy.
Oh, Binksy, that angle.
Bomb diffuser has been dropped.
Finds the leg. Chucks the nade down, so that's going to finish off. Hart explodes. And background, burn a bit. And Aria, she's gone and got a 3rd kill. Can she find a 4th? Oh, she's got the 4th. There you go, Trent. And there we go, Aria. Aria, though, misses her shots there. So the Jaeger, if she is going to be able to finally find a kill, take out that number 1 player, the top dog on this Trinity squad, Burnabout, doing the same thing.
We'll have heard her running up these blue stairs, and there's the pre-fire to take her down.
The second match, we saw Viking Army fight back hard, but Vertex in the end regained the lead and took out both maps.
Mind to move away from there, but she is taken down from the stairs as she runs away from the fuse charge. That's chaotic with the rotation to central hallway.
5 seconds left. Can they make this one work? Weird one, a massive kill onto Qatari. Can they get the diffuser down in time?
Attackers are activating the
There we
bomb
go.
diffuser.
And it's a 1 versus 2.
Diffuser. Position
Good luck trying to get on that diffuse there. Chrissy and Pivo ping now. How do they approach this? They are getting tagged up. They're getting marked as well. And Nugget, she's going to find the second one onto Pip. Chaotic and Shy, they have to now retake not only the site, but the diffuser. Oh, through the wall. Pivo ping, good night. Chaotic, she's about to do it. Finds the second one. 3rd one down around the corner. Doesn't spot her out. Few shots come through. Chrissy, can she find the kill? Absolutely not. And Chaotic goes huge for her team.
We would like to thank our sponsors, Legion Energy and Computer Alliance, as well as our partner Ubisoft, for supporting women in gaming.
Okay, ladies and gentlemen, welcome back, of course, to our second last week of the regular season here for the R6 Siege Women's League. Millboss joined by Cthulhu. We've just seen map number 1 in a series that we thought was going to be quite a close one between Trinity and Vertex, and it was an absolute whitewash here for Vertex. 7-2 the scoreline ended up being. Major takeaways from that, apart from just Vertex just too strong.
Yeah, the Vertex train was not planning to stop. Had a few kind of initial malfunctions on second half, but through and through, they were able to just pretty much plow through their opposition, really. And looking at map number 2, which is going to be Bank, things are looking slightly grim there for Trinity, but I'd still say that I have some faith there. Maybe because on a fair few occasions throughout multiple leagues, we did see times when teams would trade the maps and the map picks. So, hey, yeah, maybe Trinity has a bigger plan and a much more fleshed out plan here for Bank.
Yeah, well, hopefully there's something in the bag. I mean, this is going to be Vertex's map pick. They're going to be on attack to start things off. But Bank is one of those maps, and I talked about this with Sukai last week. It is quite a puggy map. Everyone plays it quite a lot when you're just playing some ranked games and stuff like that. It's one of those maps that most people know the basics. So looking at the map bands, you can see there, yeah, map number 2 going to be Bank. And it's... yeah, definitely one that I think should be a little bit easier to work on, but I just feel like I'm not seeing the teamwork from Trinity that I'm used to. And if anything, Vertex, they're just having those outstanding individual plays, which is just carrying them over the line by a large margin.
Right, well, Bank is just coming right up, ladies and gentlemen. Let's take a look at a quick breakdown of the map.
Well, there we go. A little preview there of Bank as we get this one underway. The ban phase starting off Trinity. They're going to be able to take out the first attacker. What do we think? Do we have any prediction as to who is going to be banned out this time?
I mean, honestly, I gotta say that I'm expecting everything here to happen. Albeit that Trinity did have a little bit of a bumpy ride there on the first map and resulted in them losing out. I still think that they might have a chance here on the second map.
Yeah, I'll hope to God you are right, because we don't want to see yet another very big difference in the scoreline, as we've got Thatcher and Monty going out as our attacking operatives, and the Monty ban there, I don't know if that's just mind games to put Arya off her game or something, but that's a little bit target ban. There you go. You can see it in the game chat, target ban. Okay, going out. And now I'm assuming it's going to be Mirror for the last one, although Bank doesn't have a lot of OP Mirror spots as compared to some of the other maps, so, but there we have it. Yeah, Mirror right out.
Yeah, okay. So yeah, Butter had a bit of a meme there about the target ban, but I mean, Monty can be fairly strong on Bank as well, so I'm not excluding the fact that it could be on the cards here that just the team didn't really want to see the French operator to really perform at all.
Well, here we go. Start of map number 2 here. This is really going to be make or break here for Trinity. If they lose this one, it's going to be a very difficult task getting up into first place next week. I mean, it's still doable, even if they do lose this map. It's definitely doable. And next week should be a relatively, I mean, I hate to say it, but a relatively easy game again,
as many bombs as they can.
as they're going to be facing up against, I believe, Noot. So, Vertex, this is their last chance. They need a very strong map here again if they want to retain that first place going into the finals. Here we go. Map number 2, Trinity and Vertex. What do you guys have, what do you girls, I should say, sorry, have for us in store this time around, as we have Server Room as the first.
I mean, probably the big thing here is going to be, I'm not too sure if we will be able to see. Yeah, there is a Goyo shield there. Hang on, where's that? Yeah, good, there we go. So I do believe there is a Goyo shield there on the service stairs, which is a slight reiteration of what we usually see, because usually you would have a ballistic shield, the normal one, to be put down right at the entrance to the service stairs, and then you would have another fallback positions. But instead, there's a slight twist to it, with Yummy Steaks bringing in a Goyo for this one, so she will be able to deny the area even after she forfeits her position. So that could play in really well into the overall just wasting time kind of game.
Camera in position.
Well, we saw how effective time wasting and time management was in that first map, especially for Vertex. Doing a really good job of shutting Trinity out until the last dying moments of the map, of the round, I should say, sorry. So, this Trinity got some similar tactics up their sleeve. Let's have a look. The drone work has been very solid from Vertex. Trinity, I haven't seen as much effective drone work. I mean, they had that one moment where they were getting Qatari and Chaotic off their roams, but in the end of that round, it didn't really matter. There's a nice aggressive push here from Buddha.
interestingly enough, actually, Vertex here just decided to full-on ignore the fact that there is even a reinforcement and potentially one of the players on the surface stairs, and instead just blown up the hatch. So now they will be able to cut off the rotation of Crips, and that could be quite dangerous here for her, considering the Guerrero shield is now gone as well.
That could be everything, but somehow Crip stays alive. She'll be able to find that first kill. Qatari will trade it out.
Uh-oh. That Ash charge is going to get eaten up as well by the ADS, which is not particularly what you want there, but hey, with 2 minutes already drained by Trinity, this is a good beginning for them potentially starting this map in a positive way.
Yep. Trinity, right now, they just look to have that solid defense onto server, and it's just slowed down Vertex significantly, and they've only got 45 seconds to work with now. Definitely still doable, and it is an even playing field in terms of player count. 4 ladies on either squad. Qatari needs to hit the shot here. This could be everything. Aria. She's just going to hold it, play patient, and I like it. She doesn't need to go aggressive for the picks. Qatari does, and she'll get a couple of shots landed. She might even chase it up for the kill. She does. Aria. She's going to go down there, and that leaves out the stairs here for Qatari to come in from behind. Meanwhile, Shy's going to get that diffuser down. She will get stopped there by the C4. Qatari, she needs to make something happen. She can't do it, and that should be all she wrote here. Unless somehow Lola and Buddha are able to do something. Buddha does get the diffuser down.
Defenders have located the diffuser.
That's going to be it. Trinity, they're going to win round number 1.
A bit of a shaky performance now for Trinity's kind of mid-round turnout, with letting Qatari to really bust through. But I mean, overall, they still were able to shut the push down really well and really consistently. So props to Trinity, as that just gives us hope, and maybe potentially for Trinity to make a somewhat similar fashioned return here with a. Maybe we'll see a 6-0 first half from them, similar to what we saw from Vertex in the first map.
Well, look, it wouldn't be the first time we saw that out of Trinity, but up against Vertex, it's not going to be easy. As now we get into round number 2, and maybe a 6-pick here. Buddha changing over to Nomad from Buck as we head into the upstairs of Executive and CEO.
Defenders
CEO office is one of those sites that you usually would just want to make sure that you keep nice and good anchor positions, as well as that you might want to have some good emphasis on either this 90-degree end of the hallway or even banana. But apart from that, the main kind of contention points could be coming through the stockroom or the eastern skylight, and well, let's see where will Vertex plan to really go for a push here.
5 seconds to go.
Well, we'll head into the action phase and see how Vertex approach this one. It's going to be a rough one here for Trinity if they're not able to start some sort of lead and get a bit of momentum, because that's what really hurt them. You know, if anything, Vertex, they just started snowballing on their defensive side in map number 1 and were able to just push round after round, and they had the confidence, especially Qatari had a lot of confidence going for some aggressive peaks. She seems to have started to carry that over with some of her aggression in the first round, but a nice shot there from Aria. It seems like it's going to be the battle we're going to be watching this whole map long. Aria up against Qatari, and this time around it's going to be Aria coming out on top.
Camera in position.
Alright, well, Buta will also need to start assisting her teammates pretty soon, considering that she still hasn't managed to make an entrance yet. But hey, overall, a trade for a trade, yummy steaks for Qatari. That's a decent one. But I'd still probably would say that it's a trade more favoring the defense here rather, and with the fact that C4 from Minxie comes out once again, the player count will be definitely now falling even further in favor of Trinity here.
Yeah, solid hold from them. Can't really say too much more than that. They've really shut Vertex down, and with 1 minute 20, it's still time enough to get onto the side and get something down, but you don't really have the aggressive players to do it. These two, Shy and Buddha, had a very troublesome map number 1. Shy only managing the 1 or 2 kills by the end of that one, so confidence maybe not at an all-time high for these two, especially Buddha, who we've seen have some absolutely dominant 4K, 5K rounds, or 3K, 4K rounds, I should say, in their last few games. I mean, look, it's doable. You want someone in that position, it's going to be Buddha, but this time around, I just don't see it happening. She just doesn't seem to have the confidence she usually has.
And in such position where there's a fair few crossfires that can be set up here by Trinity, things that might not be looking all so pretty, and with also limited, with the fact that, well, she only has 20 rounds per mag, things might be looking a little bit shaky here. Does manage to find it down onto Minxie, but apart from that, also does manage to actually get a headshot on Bai, but right before she is able to make any other further pushes, Arya is going to shut her down. So Trinity starting to look pretty confident on map number 2, which is, like you mentioned before, is a map pick of Vertex.
Yeah, I mean, look, honestly, we see this a lot in a whole bunch of different esports, that the map pick that you choose, often you lose. It just seems to happen for some reason. It's like the castle curse. It's something that we can't escape. It just happens. You pick a map, you're bound to lose it, but you're going to win their map pick. It's stupid, it makes zero sense on paper, but here we go. That's the position we're in right now. As yeah, great start so far from Trinity. Some very solid rounds. That second round there really working in their favor and keeping a lot of players alive. 6-pick going to come out for Minxie. She's going to swap Valkyrie out for Clash. Meanwhile, Qatari did initially pick IQ, but swaps back over to the Ashe, and can't blame her for that. You know, Ashe is one of those operators that is always, no matter how much they try and nerf her, going to be an absolute gun when it comes to fragging capabilities. And Qatari really has had to pick up that role this map, or this series so far.
Yeah, I mean, so far for Vertex, they would want to get up their overall momentum back in their favor, considering that they had a pretty well executed first map. But yeah, right now things are looking much more in favor of Trinity, albeit that it was quite heavily off the fact that Minxie was able to pop off on the previous 2 rounds.
Yeah, I mean, it definitely has come down to some individual heroics, and but that's what Vertex had in that first map, in that first half. You had Qatari absolutely dominating, Chaotic as well, doing some work. So maybe that's what we need from some of the girls here on Trinity, and if that's what Minxie is going to start to do, then I don't think any of them are going to be complaining about it.
Yeah, well, Qatari so far seems like the first person who might just try to have a few openings. Interestingly enough, we didn't touch up on that. It is open area and kitchen, which is usually considered one of the least favorite sites, as you do need quite some heavy control of the top floor. But it certainly seems that Trinity are pretty much full-on sorted on that, considering that they have a 3-person hold in just fairly hidden positions. Well, minus the the Clash herself, but
yeah, we haven't really seen much out of Clash this series, but this might be our opportunity. And really, like, the Clash, whenever I watch the operator be used, it's just to be a nuisance. It's just to annoy the players into not knowing really how to attack, just keeping them locked away in a room or in an area of the map and stopping them from really being able to make an aggressive move. So how do they approach this? Jackal here from Lola, not going to spot out any footsteps here really, as the first kill will go out. That's Buddha onto Minxie. That's a massive kill to find Clash out of action quite early.
Bomb located by attackers.
And that is the top fragger as well of Trinity, which is quite huge there as well. I do believe it did force the defensive side off the top floor. Yes, it did. So Good beginning here for Vertex's potential success, and I only say potential because Pi just managed to find a really nice shot onto Shy. That is the thermite off the board, so now you are pretty much locked out from any further hard breach, but I don't think Vertex are really gonna need any of it, except for maybe that hatch that is right above the Maestro.
Yeah, they've really slowed down this round, Vertex, and probably the smart thing to do is Lola just streams on in. Yummy just didn't have time to react. Chaotic, she's going to find another one onto Peace after Peace found the first kill onto Buddha. So Vertex has the woman advantage here. Picked up the diffuser, and they should be able to get that down in no time at all, but Arya, she's going to be that last line of defense here, and she really needs to work for it. 15 seconds, you just heard it in the voiceover. 1 versus 1, Chaotic up against Crips. Only 7 seconds remaining. Chaotic's gonna get that diffuser down. Crips, can she find the quick kill? She goes for the wall bang. Diffuser's gonna go down, but she's gonna find the kill. There we go, Trinity.
Defenders have located the
They
diffuser.
keep their flawless half alive to start things off here. And it's gonna be a 3-0 lead early on.
This is big here. This is quite a comeback that Trinity has so far pulled off for us. After a bit of an upsetting scoreline in the first map, it certainly doesn't look like they really were barely phased by that, really. If not given them some boost in just maybe not morale, but giving them just a kick to the bottom, just saying, hey, come on, wake up. And, well, wake up they did.
Yeah. I think that's a fair way to put it. The term I like to use is light a fire under their asses.
Well,
get them going.
Yeah,
get them. Everyone's got one. It's nothing out of the ordinary. As I'm going to round number 4 here with Trinity starting to pile on that momentum I was talking about earlier, and maybe this is their turn to snowball. 3 more rounds will see them have a flawless half, and they might be able to even have the opportunity to not just go even in terms of round difference here with Vertex, but they could actually take the win out in that regards and give Vertex their first considerable amount of round losses. They've already taken 5 off them this series so far. Can they keep that up as we're back down in server room?
I mean, the main thing here that I'll be looking at is Lola, who did end up picking Nook, so expect a whole lot of flanking potential, as she even has the drone right overlooking on that whole of the garage. So Pieces, firstly, Pieces' yokai drone will be exposed here. That's one, and her position as well as a eco player could be pretty crucial. Let's take a look at Lola's position here as well. Because whilst Vertex are going to be generating quite some ruckus in the open lobby, and actually going in for a pretty thorough rush as well in here, it seems like we might be seeing just pretty much a hot drop into the vault, which is actually completely unguarded here. This could be huge if they actually manage to pull it off, as Qatari, Shy, all of them are just piling up, whereas Lola is still on the prowl.
Yeah, they've just gone straight for it, but the first raid's going to be Yummy Sakes coming out, holding down there from the vault. Lola, though, on the flank there, as you said, she's going to be hunting. She does find her first prey. One more player around the corner. She'll get shot from behind, but Trinity very quickly just cleans that up. Chaotic, Lola, and Shy down and out in a matter of seconds, and Trinity going from what looked like it could have been a very nice, quick, aggressive round here from Vertex. Trinity just clean it up, get the mop out, and mop away all the dirt. Bam, the dirt is gone. There we have it, 4-0.
That is probably the best way to actually describe it, because firstly, got to give it to Yummy Steaks for her first response onto that rush, because if not for the fact that she killed Qatari early on through that rush, I think it would have been a completely different turnout there, because, well, losing control on the vault and the vault hallway is certainly going to be quite a leverage to use to pry open the whole defense. And while that didn't happen, if it did, it would have been quite a opposite scoreline right now.
Pardon me, yeah. I mean, there's been a couple of times this map that
I think it's fair to say one thing goes slightly different and it's going to be a completely different story. So Trinity, both a combination of luck and skill, are heading into the 5th round without losing a single one.
That would be quite huge, actually. I'm thinking about it again, that after the fact that Vertex pulled off a flawless half on map number 1, if Trinity will pull off a flawless here on map number 2, that would be pretty big, considering that this will completely nullify Vertex's overall just run throughout this whole series. And whilst after the first map they were looking like, hey, even if some of the points may be evened out further down the line in the season, now it's looking like that whole lead will be pretty much all gone, and we're going to be back to almost 4 rounds difference?
Yeah, it was 4 rounds of difference, and yeah, I mean, Trinity, they're holding their own this time around, but Chaotic, a very early first pick. She's going to find Pi to start things off. But yeah, I think it's fair to say that Trinity, if they're able to keep this up, keep this momentum going, really nullifies what Vertex accomplished in that first map, and if anything, just leaves them wide open to be able to take top spot at the end of the season after next week. Vertex, this is literally their last possible chance to retain that spot. If you let Trinity have a dominant win over you in this map, I don't think it's going to happen.
And also, bit of an interesting pick there as well from Gotari after realizing that, well, maybe some of the firefights were not really going in her favor, really. Bringing in a Blackbeard with a really fabulous looking DMR is definitely going to probably tilt the favor in towards her side, considering that surround wrap around the gun definitely does manage to stop a few bullets.
Well, some drone usage here. It's been solid. I keep on bringing this up, but it's been very solid here from Vertex, and I don't know what else to really expect at this point. Right, as the season's progressed, we've seen some really nice drone usage. I think that's one thing where a couple of the teams that are pickup teams have been learning quite quickly, is to really utilize those drones more than they have. But so far, I was about to say a very good start to the round from Vertex, but Crips comes through with the 2K and levels the playing field.
Things are looking all well here as well for Shire. She's still yet to pick up a frag after 4 rounds, but that might be just on the lookout for maybe some flanks. Let's take a look at our defenders here. Saying that Lola is trying to be out on the prowl, and between her and Minxie, so far Minxie's still got the higher ground.
Yeah, I mean, you bring up Shy, she had a shocking first map as well, so really just continuing the trend. As soon as we say that, she finds the kill. Let's go, Shy.
And taking as well the control of C off, this could be big here, considering that Quataria does find yet another kill. So now it's all up to Yummy Steaks to try to deny this. The plan will actually be denied, so 10 seconds left to go. Another one potentially nearly down in 7 seconds. Yummy Steaks needs to go down for Vertex's success, and with barely any time left, Yummy Steaks just needs to deny the time here, really.
Diffuser has gone down. She's dropped 2 players. This is a 1 versus 1. It's just Kotari. It's gonna be Blackbeard going up against the Bandit. And that shield could be the difference maker here. He needs to go for it. She runs across the screen. Oh my god, Yummy. That is dirty.
That is nasty to do Vertex like that, deny them the 1v3 and able to defuse. My goodness, Trinity are just looking so good right now. My god, what?
I'm speechless. That was disgusting. Where's Battle Eye? Hello?
Definitely will need to check them MOS files after the match.
Yeah. Check the VOD. Send it in. Maybe there's a vacation. I don't know. This is just... What? You can't be doing that.
Wow. I mean, yeah, massive props to Yummy Steaks for just the sheer discipline in her peaks, just knowing when to pace herself, and even with the fact that she kind of ended up still allowing the plant to go down, she was able to put Vertex into such an uncomfortable position where it's just through and through they were having to keep making those small mistakes, even post-plant, which I'm still kind of surprised because technically after the plant, all you do really just fall back, get some safe position. The time is playing now in your favor.
Well, really falls half so far from Trinity. 1v3 clutch coming through. If anything gets you hyped and ready to go, that's going to be a 1 versus 3 clutch. So I can imagine their comms right now.
10 seconds.
They're going to be riding on that high as we head back to open area for
5 seconds to insertion.
the final round of the half.
Now, bringing in for Minxie, bringing in the Clash again. Last time, I don't think we did see quite some success from the Clash player, at least to my memory.
Well, yeah, I mean, she was the first to drop, but maybe she just had a bad round there. Maybe she's got something planned that she wasn't able to bring out last time. So, let's see what she does with the Clash this time.
Ooh, Chaotic, fully knowledgeable about the position of the Mozzie player, so a quick cheeky pre-fire might just end it, but I don't think she was at the right angle to start this off, but the reassurance is there. Mozzie is still nice and tight up waiting and completely clueless about the position. So let's see whether Chaotic will be able to pull off another nice peek. Well, he doesn't look like it, but she does spot the Clash, so
yeah.
At the very least, she can relay some of the information here.
She's spotted yet another player. Shots going through. That's going to be Aria again, I believe.
I think it was, yeah. Yeah.
And still so far no deaths. Another slower round in towards open area.
But this time, interestingly enough, there's no, like, once again, the top side control was completely forfeited, but I do believe that Rips might actually be able to find a flank here if she times it right, but instead I think she might be rotating over to the hatches. Oh, that is a bit of a haunting picture to see an Italian man flop down the hatch. That's something scary out of, like, I don't know, true crime kind of drama, but meanwhile, Buddha will be finding herself a nice frag and might be just on the flank watch from now on.
Well, 2v5, Waller finds the third, and it's just Minxie and Crips left alive. Crips, well, it's going for that flank. The open area should be all but open for Vertex to get that diffuser down. They have found the kill onto the Clash. They've spotted out where Crips was as well, and now they're just going to hunt for it. Crips will find one, though.
Imagine if Crips will be able to clutch this out as well, but that's just going to be in the realm of fantasy for now, as finally Vertex do manage to break the curse of 5 rounds in a row, nonetheless.
It took them long enough, but they are able to get an offensive round on the board. Now we head over to their defensive side, and this could be where everything changes. This could be where they start to pile on the pressure, because again, this is their map pick, so you'd expect them to be stronger than they have been on this map. And I know the majority of maps in Siege do favor the defensive side. It doesn't necessarily mean that you're just going to be absolute garbage on your offense. So it would have been nice to see something better out of them, but you never know. That being said, though, I hope for Trinity's sake that they've got something up their sleeves going into the offense, because it is going to be difficult up against the Vertex that, you know, demolished them.
Attackers need to locate and defuse as many
in
bombs
that first
as they can.
map. So here we go.
Yeah, I mean, so far through and through on both of the maps, defense has been so much more prevalent on both sides, and I mean, I will be surprised a little bit to see if Trinity will be able to fully close it out, not wait or waste any more rounds, and then just completely flood the scoreline there. Whereas on the side of Vertex, well, yes, they still have one more round as a buffer for their success, but it's still going to be quite a challenge to pull off there.
Oh, it will be. And I mean, honestly, the best thing here for Trinity is the fact that they have got 5 rounds on the board. So even if they do lose it, yes, not preferable, but they're still going to be in a very good position next week going up against Noot to be able to win and go to the top of the leaderboard. So reality is, even though Vertex might be able to win this series, or win both maps in this series, if they do come back here, which, look, I don't necessarily see happening, but it is possible, it's not the end of the world here for Trinity. And in the meantime, this is the end of the world here for Vertex. If they want to retain top spot, they need to be able to get the W here.
And they need to make it as swift as possible, because with all the round difference that could be coming in, that whole progress, like I mentioned before, could have been nullified even further. Because yes, while they had a 4-round difference prior to the beginning of this very matchup, this very best of 2, even that 4-round difference could be pretty much gone after this second map if this will end up resulting in, say, a draw.
Yeah, well, the draw would be an interesting anomaly that we haven't seen so far in at least my experience in the season. I don't know if your last day casting back in week 2 you saw any draws, but
I think we did at least for one map. Not
saw one,
100%.
yeah. Well, would be the first that I've seen at least. So, I mean, to be fair, most of the games we've seen, or that I've casted, at least all of them, for the most part, have been quite one-sided. So there hasn't really been that, those scores that you would expect to see probably with a little bit of a closer competition. But right now, this is probably where we're going to see it, if we're going to see it. If Vertex is able to come back. But first kill will go down. It's going to be Katari out of action. That's going to be Valkyrie. Wall should get shot up here, and they'll get that entrance into CEO executive. So
the impact trick was quite successful there, but wait.
Oh no.
That was chaotic. Uh-oh.
From underneath?
That is going to be a bit of a tilter there for Trinity, considering, well, they still have Hibana to deny the breach, so it's not as bad, but the breach will not be, well, will be partially successful, so there will be a, well, actually, no, there won't be a vaultable hole anymore. Chaotic does find yet another peak here, and, well, things are starting to shape up in a bit of a grim fashion here for the success of this round for Trinity.
Yeah, not looking good right now.
Okay.
It's now 3v3. I mean, player count-wise, it's pretty even. We'll go down to give the woman an advantage to Trinity, but there's only 15 seconds. They don't have easy access onto the site. She needs to find the kill here, Buddha, and she will indeed, leveling it out 2 versus 2, but she's just going to run straight out there. Fuse is going to go down. Yummy Sakes should be able to get that planted, and it's just chaotic. 1 versus 2. Can she do it? Oh,
wait, she missed the planter as well. It was right in front of her as well, and oh, that is a missed opportunity there. Trinity to grab yet another round to push themselves into match point, so at the very least they will be able to guarantee themselves here really nice draw.
I mean, everything in this round is pointing towards a Vertex win. The failure to get the proper hole, vaultable hole even out with that Hibana, and the fact that the Thermite went down. And then just in that situation that she should have been able to find at least the kill onto the diffuser there. And yet nothing. Trinity, out of nowhere, once again is going to pluck a win out of thin air. And 6-1 is the scoreline, bringing them to match point. I did not expect this to go this way. This is like, this should have been a close series. I was so excited for it because both these teams have done really well respectively. We have map number 1 a 7-2 to Vertex, and now we're looking at a potential 7-1 to Trinity. I mean, they're evenly matched, but not in the games themselves. It doesn't make sense.
Attackers need to locate and defuse.
There's no logic here.
I mean, with Siege, half of the time you don't really need logic per se. You gotta say it here. Considering that, well, yeah, these two teams can match themselves equally, but yeah, within this so far the 2 maps that we did see, it was a bulldozer on either one of the sides. So
yeah. I mean, look, going down now into server room, this is going to be one of the harder bombs to jump on into. So we'll see what sort of offense Trinity is able to come up with. One thing that I have noticed in the league so far is there's not always a lot of defense towards the sewers there. So that could be a plan of attack for them, but doesn't look like they're opting to go that way. So sort of being neglected by both teams.
I mean, if you look at it from the defender's position, really, this could probably one of the better places to really defend, because this is a really good crossfire position, but it can also be played here really well with that smoke that is currently on the surface stairs. So the moment some pressure is being applied onto Chaotic, you have Lola rotate over to the base of the stairs, and there it is. There's your whole really defense. So I wouldn't be too scared about that just yet, considering that Cortari is the one that is currently so far taking a chunky amount of damage. And Minxie...
By a chunk, you mean a full 100?
Yeah, full 100. Well, at the beginning of the firefight, it was pretty chunky. But yeah, finding the death of herself early into the round is not what you want right now, especially for the player that has been so far one of the most impactful ones for Vertex.
Yeah. Speaking of impact, though, Minxie really haven't been able to highlight her much, but 10-4 right now. Aria 7-5, Crypt 7-3. Really stepping up map number 2, and it's looking a bit more like what we saw out of Qatari, Lola, and Chaotic in that first map. So the roles have reversed well and truly here, almost identically.
And right now, with the way how Vertex have things set up, they are missing out on that roam and on that distraction that they have been getting caught out on quite substantially, and Lola getting completely distracted by that drone. That could have been probably the prime time for some of the grenades to start flying in, considering that, well, they have all the positioning. And oh, Lola getting so angsty on. She wants to go in for the peak.
Don't do it. Don't do it, my friend. Oh, she goes for it. The timing somehow keeping her alive. It's going to go for a C4.
Okay.
Doesn't do any damage there. Oh, gas grenade, sorry. Well, Havana should be able to open up this hatch here. 5-3, 5-2. Minxie, Yummy Steaks combining for a couple, and it's now just Lola and Buddha up against all 5 players of Trinity to save themselves here in map number 2 of the series.
And with Buddha also getting continuously pinged by... Yeah, and with Buddha continuously getting pinged, things are looking not quite well. She does manage to find a double kill for herself to level the playfield a little bit, but with the death of Lola, it's all up to the Maestro player of Vertex, and things are looking all dicey here. Maestro camera will be coming out, but no avail here. The plant has been down, and well, the only really way to deal some damage here will be those Evil Eye cameras, which will be shut down.
Buddha 1v3. Can she do what Yummy Steaks did in the first half? She runs on through the side, finds the first kill. That's the triple already for her. She needs the ace. She's going to be able to make this one work out. One more player to her left here. Can she turn in time? No, Trinity. They're going to come out with the map number 2 victory. And there we go. GG's in the chat indeed. 7-1. The victory here for the girls at Trinity. And I did not see that coming from a mile away.
I'm honestly, I'm just as shocked as you are, really. With this scoreline, we've both been expecting some really close scorelines. We've been talking right prior to the broadcast, but hey, both of the teams ended up just trading their own map picks here, and 7-2, 7-1 scoreline. Being the 7-2 in favor of Vertex and 7-1 for Trinity. Will still be leaving, I believe, round count-wise, will be still in favor mostly for Vertex, but I don't think it will be really for long.
It's definitely going to be close, but the main thing is Vertex, they've got to bye next week. Trinity don't, and they're playing Noot, who are also going to be playing out in our next series that's coming up after a bit of a break. That's going to be Noot going up against Enix. Hopefully, again, we said that the first series was going to be close. It wasn't. Hopefully, this one is, so that we get
some sort of close fights in the women's league here. But I'm just astounded by the fact that they were both such one-sided maps on each other's map pick. I just didn't foresee that.
Yeah, I honestly, I couldn't foresee that as well. But I gotta give props on the first map to Kotari, who was an absolute menace on defense, and on the second map to Minxie, who was just going absolutely huge for her team. I gotta say.
Yeah, well, I mean, once you get one of your teammates starting to pop off a little bit, it does get a little bit easier for everyone to start to lift. You know, we saw that awesome 1v3 by Yummy Steaks on the first half. So things like that are only really possible when you're feeling confident, feeling positive. So a really good result there from both teams. I think that Trinity should have a pretty good chance of being able to go first place by the end of the season, and that will be probably our Vertex Trinity Grand Final if everything goes according to what we expect it to. That will be the grand final heading into the finals week. But for now, we're going to go to a quick break while we get the next series loaded up for you guys. Make sure you don't go anywhere, and we'll see you in just a bit.
Introducing Thermite. Thermite is a very valuable operator and an important backline support for an attacking team. Playing Thermite well requires patience, leadership, and strong communication with your team. As one of the only hard breachers in the game, losing Thermite early in the round will hinder your team significantly. Thermite is capable of hard breaching reinforced walls and hatches, thanks to his remote BC3 exothermic charges. Careful placement of these charges is crucial to your team's assault on the objective. Deployed correctly, they will open up sight lines, remove blind spots, and allow your team to storm rooms strategically. Your charges can easily be destroyed by enemy fire, and your supply is limited, so place them wisely. Some defenders can counter your charges with their own unique defensive abilities. Team up with other operators to combine your abilities and negate potential enemy counters. Don't place your charge on non-reinforced surfaces unless strategic walls have already been opened. Do use your drone to scout out effective breach points and rally your team to these positions. Push in behind your team to secure the win.
In week 3 of the XPWL R6 Women's League, Trinity continued their clean sweep, winning both maps against Enix.
A really good job of dealing with Clash on that particular window. But obviously that's not an option. Aria with a double kill. Triple kill.
Making it 3.
Hart and Minxie.
Oh, Minxie, that angle. Finds the leg. Shuts the nade down, so that's going to finish off. Heart explodes. In the background, Burner Bear. And Aria, she's gone and got a 3rd kill. Can't even find a 4th. Oh, she's got the 4th. There you go, Trent. And there we go, Aria. Aria, though, misses her shots there. So the Jaeger of Chi is going to be able to finally find a kill. Take out that #1 player, the top dog on this Trinity squad. Burner Bear doing the same thing.
We'll have heard her running up these blue stairs, and there's the pre-fire to take her down.
The second match, we saw Viking Army fight back hard, but Vertex in the end regained the lead and took out both maps.
trying to move away from there, but she is taken down from the stairs as she runs away from the fuse charge. That's chaotic with the rotation to central hallway.
5 seconds left. Can they make this one work? Weird one, a massive kill onto Qatari. Can they get the diffuser down in time?
Attackers are activating the
There we
bomb
go.
diffuser.
And it's a 1 versus 2.
Diffuser. Position
Good luck trying to get on that defuse there. Brucey and Pivoping now. How do they approach this? They are getting tagged up. They're getting marked as well. And Nugget, she's going to find the second one onto Pip. Chaotic and Shy, they have to now retake not only the site, but the diffuser. Oh, through the wall. Pivoping, good night. Chaotic, she's about to do it. Finds the second one. Third one down around the corner. Doesn't spot her out. Few shots come through. Chrissy, can she find the kill? Absolutely not. And Chaotic goes huge for her team.
We would like to thank our sponsors, Legion Energy and Computer Alliance, as well as our partner Ubisoft, for supporting women in gaming.
All right, ladies and gentlemen, welcome back to, of course, week 4 of the Rainbow Six Siege Women's League. Millwall's here, joined by Cthulhu tonight as we head into our second match of the night. It's going to be Noot going up against Enix, and this one, sort of the battle of the bottom, if you will. The bottom of the leaderboard, we've got Enix, Noot smack bang in the middle, but we'll see whether or not Enix can sort of rise above their foe. Probably their closest competition, if anything, is Viking Army, who I believe they play next week. But until then, we've got this game coming up for you guys in just a moment. Enix and Noot. We already spoke about the Noot roster change. Just to refresh your memory, if you guys are just joining us, Noot unfortunately had to release Sassy as she went back home to Canada because of the current coronavirus situation. And Mazikeen from Vertex has come in and is stepping in now for her in her place. So that roster change, we don't know what it's going to mean for this team, but so far they've been, like smack bang in their middle. Their round difference is about 6. So really there's not much that's amazing about the team, and there's not much that's really that bad about the team. They are pretty much as even as it gets.
Yeah, but I definitely do reckon that having one of the players from from Vertex to come around to Noot's side is certainly going to be also quite an interesting factor here, considering that, well, Vertex did showcase us on first map some really good siege, but on Bank it was a little bit 50-50. So maybe Mazikeen will be able to give a boost of performance for Noot, or maybe it's the fact that they maybe haven't played together a whole lot. Maybe we will be seeing quite a different performance here. But let's take a look quickly at Enix's roster as well, the team that will be playing here against Noot. As we got quite a few names that have been popping up here and there during the matches.
Yeah, well, we've got a couple of names that are relatively well known in esports scene in general here. Chi probably in the number 1 there. Bernabe had an amazing series last week. And apart from that, I think they've been sort of rotating the players around a little bit. Amball's had a pretty good game as well, a couple of games last week. So I am definitely looking at those guys to step up the most. But for the most part, I think this could be quite an even game mode. You've got a team that has just picked up a new player versus a pickup team that has actually been trying. Like, I'm pretty sure they spoke to Chi last week about picking up their game and actually starting to do a little bit of training, some research, some scrimming, whatever it is, to actually learn Siege a lot better. So I like to see this sort of stuff from them because it shows a dedication to improvement.
Yeah, I mean, and with the maps that I do believe we also have to go over, we will be seeing Border and Bank to be played out, with Noot going on attack on Border, and then Bank will be seeing Enix on attack as well.
Yeah, I mean, Border's gonna be a good one. We've seen a little bit of it so far in the women's league, but Bank, it's been a staple, and we just saw it in the last series, so nothing new there. But I think we are just about ready to get underway into this one, and I'm excited to see it. I genuinely am. I think maybe not as hyped up as our previous series, the first series of the night, but if anything, this should be a better storyteller for us as to where these two teams are, because I think. I personally don't think Enix should be in the bottom of the leaderboards right now. I think realistically, on paper, Viking Army are the team that should be there. They do have a much more of a pickup team vibe to them. So, if anything, I would like to see Enix at least win a map. But if they can't do that, bring it to Noot. Try and get some rounds on them, because Noot, if anything, haven't really impressed so far.
Yeah, well, for now, let's quickly take a look at the Border breakdown before we jump right into the action.
Well, Border is the name of the game as we head into this one. Ban phase coming in. Enix kicking us off here. Again, I mean, we're probably going to see, as we have every single map so far this entire season long, Mirror banned out. But besides her, do we have anything that is a common ban here on Border?
Usually you would see some of the disruption to the breaching, so maybe a Thermite or even the Thatcher be banned out, but oddly enough it will be Fuse actually to be banned, as well. Fuse after recent changes has pretty much got a indirect buff with his hockey pucks becoming pretty much nuclear weapons now with the fragmentation that goes off them.
Yeah, I've heard it has been a bit of a game changer here. As we see Jackal now, our second ban. But Fuse hasn't really been used all that much this season. I think we've seen mainly coming out of Pippa being over on the Viking Army lineup. She's been using Fuse quite effectively, especially the couple of times that they've played Consulate. She's done quite well with her. But there we go, the Mirror ban. Unsurprising. Nobody likes her apparently. And we'll go into the second ban here for Enix this time around.
Yeah, the poor Spanish operator just can't catch a breath here with all the bans, but interestingly enough, it will be Clash that will be banned out. Okay, so probably out of all of them so far, probably out of 4, there's only 2 bans that kind of make sense, and that's the both Spanish operators off the board. But Fuse and Clash are probably the ones that you would be seeing on quite a rare occasion, considering that while they do both of them bring quite some utility to their to the field, I don't think a whole lot of teams really favor the execution of them. As Rachel just Rachel continues the reign of the recruit, because last time I saw Noot play, it was Rachel quite frequently appearing on recruit, which it still weirds me out even after the fact that his loadout got changed.
Yeah, look, it's an interesting choice, but
Locate and defuse bomb.
you know, I'm not going to judge. Here we go, map number 1 in the series between Noot and Enix. About to be underway. Enix's map pick here, Border.
Located a bomb.
Whether they have something ready to go to surprise this Noot lineup with. Again, Border, one of those maps that I think has been relatively puggy over the years. It's found a very stable sort of playstyle for the most part in competitive matches.
I mean,
first round should get underway in just a moment.
10 seconds left.
Yeah,
before
with the way how metas occasionally does shift, with some of the buffs coming around, with some of the nerfs coming around, the meta on border does change around a little bit because a few seasons ago we will be seeing quite some heavy contention of CCTV, and you would see a whole lot of crossfires to be done. But nowadays, the hold of CCTV is somewhat getting more and more rare. And instead, it's some close contention of officers, some downstairs and vertical play, and it just shows that, yeah, whilst border didn't really change at all for the past, what, like 3 to 4 years, it did have a passive change with all the meta.
Yeah, I think yeah, you're right there. If anything, it's been the meta's changed because of everything around, not the actual map itself. As first kill's going to go down, that's Ambles out of action early, but Burner Bear is going to find 1, maybe 2 there. She did indeed. Massive 2-piece there, but Noot should level out the playing field. Burner Bear is going to get traded out.
And as Mazikeen as well, the fresh introduction to the Noot roster as a sub after the recent unfortunate events for one of the players. As right now looking pretty good. Coney does manage to actually push the playfield in Newton's favor, whereas for Enix things are looking a little bit dicey. Minipit is still at the lockers. Chi is on the flank and just walks out with her back turned, but does manage to still get a kill on the Mazikeen. Wait, what?
Yeah, Mazikeen's going to be able to turn around and find one there, but traded out almost instantly. 2 versus 2 now. Connie and Chloe up against Chi and Mintip. Mintipit? That's an interesting name there, but
yeah,
I'm just gonna go Mint.
Yeah.
Chi lasts alive. A matter of 20 odd HP left, and it should be just about all she wrote, unless she gets a lucky headshot to open this up with. Not gonna happen. Noot taking their first round.
Some really good performance there by Noot, really. Considering that I don't think we saw a whole lot of breaching per se due to the run out from Burner Bear early on, but I mean, still it was a pretty good salvage by the attacking team, all things considered.
Round number 2. Let's get underway, and a very solid start there for Noot, and this is one of the things that I think, I talked about it right at the beginning of the broadcast tonight. Possibly expected them to do a little bit better than they have been doing, especially with the likes of Connie on their team, someone who is just well known in FPS esports within the ANZ region. But
attackers need to locate and
teamwork can make the dream work, even if you aren't necessarily the better team in inverted commas. So you never know what Enix, with a little bit of time and practice, has been able to pull out of the bag and has been able to learn how to do. So don't count them out just yet. There's one thing that I completely forgot to mention at the beginning of the broadcast, which a lot of you have noticed of tonight's broadcast, is unfortunately we do not have the hosting situation that we have had so far throughout the season. Unfortunately, due to everything going on, the decision was made that it's better off not to have too many people in the broadcast facility for XP Esports to have the host and have the interview. So we apologize for that. I know the interviews were a lot of fun, but of course, as soon as we can get that going again, potentially going into season 2 or something like that, that is going to be something we look at doing. But for the meantime, you're going to have to deal with my voice, you're going to have to deal with Cthulhu's voice, and that's about it. So, here we go. Round 2, action phase starts, and what do we see here from Enix?
From Enix, really, we do see a pretty, just about a similar setup, really. They have a pretty standard setup and of reinforcements in the offices, really, to allow some of the offsite roamers to play safe. And while for the attack, it's a little bit unconventional to have your thermite to actually repel onto one of the windows. Oh, he nearly catches the shot. Oh, he had the element of surprise, but it is Burner Bear who actually opens up the scoreline.
Yeah, Mazikeen going down early there. Unconventional might be one way to describe it, but potentially in Rachel's mind, it's like, yeah, this is how you win. You put your thermite upside down against a window, and that's how you win rounds. That might just be her logic. Don't know where she gets it from, but the case is, oh, she almost might die from it. High risk, low reward there. Oh no!
Uh-oh. That is not a good beginning here for Rachel. Thankfully, Jordan was still there to pick her up, so it's a good beginning. And Chloe, ooh, after taking quite some damage, does manage to get a nice flick onto Ambal's head. And, well, the player count has been leveled even, but looking at the overall health situation, things are definitely much more positive here for the defense.
I think the HP advantage should be a major factor of them potentially winning this round. But that being said, Rachel just pushes straight on through with low HP, finds first kill onto Mint. She spotted at least one more.
Bomb located by attackers.
Chloe should be able to push on through here. Oh, Connie with the shot through the wall. Oh, sorry, Bernabear with the shot through the wall, but Connie responds with 2, so it leaves Bernabear 1 versus 3. Somehow they've turned this round around completely, and Noot, they should be able to find an easy round here now. Jordan will go down.
Bomb diffuser. Defenders have located.
We'll be able to get picked up again. Bernabear. She's got it all to play for right now. Connie, oh lord, what? Oh my lord.
Deny the kill. Gotta deny the kill.
Defender is approaching a kill zone.
Just like that, though, Noot do manage to bring this back as well. Just it's another round for themselves.
Well, that's an interesting way to end out a round if you're Connie, but they still make it work. And Noot turning water into wine there, gifted that round when realistically shouldn't have been the case for them.
Oh, with the round just about to kickstart here for round number 3, yet another retry. No, wait, this will be now a switch around actually to the workshop. Seeing as Armory wasn't really working out here for Enix after 2 fairly valiant attempts, we'll be seeing a switch around to the downstairs hold, albeit that Enix will still need to defend the top floor if they want to ensure themselves some success here.
Yeah, definitely. You got to be very careful about verticality, especially in a map like this, which
5 seconds left.
is so multifaceted. Not an easy one to defend for the most part, and especially some sites can be troublesome beyond repair. But here we go. Action phase. Coming on through.
Looking at the overall setup so far for for Enix, not a whole lot of the castle barricades were really utilized here. Well, there was one on the doorway into the vents, so the only, technical way without the ash charge will be through the window, which will be dealt by Jordan pretty quickly. And then you have a few entrances up on the top floor to be completely denied, but I don't think that is actually going to phase Noot in any shape or form, as Rachel just decides to plow in right in through the custom corridor.
Yeah, just some aggressive push here from Rachel, and I mean, she seems to like to do that, which is probably not what you'd necessarily want from your Thermite player, but it's working out for her. She's apparently 2 kills, 2 deaths, make that 3. She's going to find the opening pick here in round number 3.
That is a shot on M-balls as well, so that is one of the fragging ops off the board. But she does manage to find a response here, as well as that Coney and Jordan are now down. So Mint adding some not dedication, adding her own vote in here, and well, with a 3v2 and Coney down, Now this will be a prime position here for Enix to take the win and the control in the round count.
Yeah, they are. They're in prime position. Mazakine in the background is going to fall to Burnabear, and it's just going to be Chloe. She goes for the diffuser, but 3 remaining Enix players should be able to come and find that. Connie will eventually get finished off there, and she's just going to sit here on top. 3 players from Enix should be able to come down one of the many different angles here. One drops through the hatch. Maybe even 2 there. And there we go. Kill will go through. Burnabear's going to find that and disable the diffuser. There we have it. Enix finding their first round this time.
A good comeback. Finally, Enix, after 2 rounds in a row, do manage to find themselves back on their feet. As so far, Workshop seem to have worked out much better comparative to Armory. But now it begs me to question what will be the next choice, because usually it will be customs inspection for the play, but instead it will be bathroom and tellers. They decide that so far has been seeing a bit of a, you could say, refreshment within the meta, considering that in the previous seasons you would see only probably some of the meme rounds to go down in bathroom tellers.
Yeah, it's definitely made a bit of a resurgence, at least in the last little while. 6-pick going to come through for Heart Explodes as she picks the smoke over the mute. And this one proving to be a little bit closer than what we saw in the last series. This is more about what we're looking for.
Attackers have discovered the location.
If Enix manages to level out the scoreline to a piece, this could also be, you may ask, quite a bit of a hint that we might just be seeing a much closer matchup compared to what we even saw in the first series, which I don't think either of us were really able to predict on that one.
You know, I think both of our predictions flew straight out the window within the first couple of rounds there of both maps between Vertex and Trinity, but nevertheless,
Attackers' objective is to
got this one on hand right now. Map 1 between Noot and Enix, of course, best of 2 series. We will be heading to Bank after this one's done. This map here, Noot's pick, so I wouldn't be surprised to see them have a very solid defense, but the offense, get a couple of rounds on the board, maybe 3 or 4, and you're feeling really good going into that second half.
What is slightly concerning to me about the defense that so far Enix set up for themselves is the fact that there's only single person, well, make it now 2 people, up on the top floor, but both of them will be very much separated from each other. And, well, the moment I say that,
the caster curse
the caster curse just kicks in right at that beautiful amount of time. And, well, with the breach coming out, Rachel and Mazakine actually do manage to kick things off there really well. Coney adding her own play here to the fray, but will get traded out pretty quickly. Burnabear staying true with her UMP-45 here. But can she find yet another shot, as now it is at 4v2.
Yeah, this is going to be a rough one. She should find yet another kill, and she does indeed double kill this time. Burnabear, how the shoulder's feeling, because she is carrying hard right now, 9 and 3. The rest of her teammates, highest kill count is Chi with just 2. Diffuser will go down. That's just on Mint. That's going to be all she wrote here.
Yeah, pretty much all she wrote. Bathroom tellers, certainly not something that Enix probably really wanted to go with, but hey, they had a good idea to try to throw the team off. Yeah, but just didn't seem comfortable, yeah.
Do they go for it again, though? No, thank God.
Instead, though, they still go for the side that so far has been having a 100% unsuccessful defense for it, which is Armory, Locus, and Archives. And, well, if this scoreline will end up resulting in a 4-1, at the moment, things might be starting to look a little bit dicey, albeit that on a fair few times we did see when teams were just about to pull off a nice comeback on on the second half, but I don't think that's going to be the case here, where at the very least, if we'll just continue pushing the scoreline in their favor.
Well, I think if anything, honestly, if I'm Enix right now, just get through this round and then head back to construction for the next round, because that's the one place you've had some luck on. Right now, Noot, if they go into the second half with just the 3-round wins, they're going to feel pretty comfortable, although, as proven by Enix, it's not an easy map to defend on, so...
Yeah, it's, I mean, with armor lockers, you should generally have a pretty decent time to defend it, but issue being is that, well, I mean, even looking at the bans, you don't have any of the breach denial banned. You don't have Mute, nor Kite, nor Bandit banned. And so far, Enix were completely feeling redundant about those 3 operators that should, and I mean, like, the main emphasis is on should, be able to deny or to delay at the very least the push of Noot, as they were able to get some pretty easy entry into the building without really any kind of struggle, really.
Yeah, I mean, this might just be my silver brain talking, but I feel like if Bandit's in play, he's got to be a staple. You've got to have a Bandit or one of those 3 characters, as you say, has to be on the team when they're available, and because none of them have been banned out, Enix have been more or less just ignoring them. Maybe going for comfort picks, I don't really know, but it just feels like you've got to have at least one of them on the team if they're not banned out.
It's more so for the fact that Bandit introduces quite some good utility as well, bringing in the C4 as well and a good weapon.
Yeah.
Rachel would have had a very hard time there, but due to the nature of her push, she did get a pretty nice kill, but will get traded out by Min. So, with the throw out off the board, it's now all up to the Hibana to make the play here, whereas for Noot, really, they got all the utility that they need, really. They got all the frag grenades, they have 3 flashbangs, and they still got some breaching charges, so attack will be feeling real nice and pretty.
I mean, this is one of the things that's also confusing me. You're seeing consistently Noot are going for that double hard breacher play. You've got Hibana and Thermite pretty much every round, yet you're not going for the bandit trick, or at least having bandit traps around the track. Doesn't make a lot of sense to me. And now, getting into this last little second of the round, Connie, she's going to be able to bring this down. It was at one point a 3 versus 2 there, but Connie's going to be able to clutch it up. So, Noot winning yet another round, Armory. This defensive setup by Enix does not make sense to me.
Yeah, it's definitely quite unusual to see this much of a lack of breach denial, but hey, maybe there was some different strat there as part of an idea. But for now, we are planning to see the vents to be the final round, where potentially Enix might net themselves yet another round, but as it stands, really, Noot has been seeing quite some good performance, mainly thanks to a fair few rounds where the newest addition to Noot, Mazikeen, have been making quite some entry kills, plus Coney. I mean, look at this. Coney so far on 8 kills, whereas the next best thing is Rachel on 5.
Yeah, I think it's fair to say Mazikeen, she's had a couple of impact frags, if anything. Connie has just been doing Connie things. She's just been going ham. Don't know what else you'd really expect from her. But
true.
Yeah, I think it's fair to say, like, there's a bit of a carry when you look at the fragging numbers. Same goes for Burn and Bear over on the Enix side of things, but ultimately the impact frags are what Noots are being a bit more successful at, and finding those really important frags, stopping any flanks, stopping any sort of rotations coming through. So Enix working really struggling at the moment.
And they certainly do have a bit of a struggle here finding a point, and if this half will end up resulting in a 5-1 scoreline, oh, that could be a bit of a problem, considering the fact that so far, really, Noot has been looking pretty strong, all things considered. peak point from above into the vents could be quite dangerous, but I'm sure that with some right droning, they should be able to deny that very thing. You do see the outline of Maestro, who just managed to find a really nice shot onto Chloe, who just tried to jump in through that window, and well, they just now realizing that there is quite some deadly presence up above.
Yeah, I think it's fair to say that right now Noot seeing the stronger squad, but with Chloe down, and now Bear finding yet another onto Mazikeen. Enix, this might be their wild card. The workshop vent hills, bottom sites I should say, seem to be the one thing that they're good at here on the defensive side of border. That being said, Rachel will find a trade eventually. Finally, Hard Explode's going down. But this should give them a strong advantage.
Should is the pretty much at this point is the story of my life as well, but same goes actually here for Rachel's push as well. She will be going down, albeit that the plant has still gone down. Interestingly enough, Coney does manage to successfully get a plant down, and now all up to Jordan and Coney to try to keep now this time ticking in their favor.
So the problem here is they didn't put a rotation hole between the sites, so now they have to face the front door to be able to get over to it, and you've got Connie just hanging upside down here, watching that go down. Only 15 seconds remaining on the diffuser. They need to be able to get onto it as soon as possible.
Eyes on the diffuser.
Connie, the run out comes through. That's going to be Chi going down. Mint's going to find it. Can she get the defuse?
I don't think she can. No, she cannot. She ran out of time, and it's a little bit mistimed their push. So Noot do manage to win out this round by just the time of the diffuser.
I mean, the idea was there from Chi to go for that run out, distract Connie long enough, but the timing, as you say, just didn't work, and that forced them into Mint into a very uncomfortable position where she had to find the frag and get the defuse destroyed there. So heading into the second half here, 5-1 scoreline. Noot looking real strong, but I think if there's one takeaway so far from at least what we've seen of Enix, they're a lot closer contested. These rounds have been coming down to the wire. A lot of 1v1s, 1v2s coming down to it. So compared to what we saw in the last series where there were a lot of rounds where it was 4, even 5 players left sometimes, this time around it just seems like a little bit scrappier. Noot just seemed to have that clutch factor.
Yeah, clutch factor kicking in at just the right moments, and once again, gotta give it to Coney, already on the double digits after 6 rounds, and she's just flat out unstoppable. 10 kills, 2 assists, and only 3 deaths. That is quite something, I gotta say as well, because that's an impressive scoreline.
Bomb located by attackers.
Because like, if you look at Rachel, she's currently going 1-1 KD, 6-6. Chloe, 4-3. Mazikeen, 4-5. Jordan, 2-5. And only Coney so far is the one that is pretty much pushing into that success. Well, at the very least, frags-wise. But on the side of Enix, well, Bear might be a little bit fuming there after seeing the scoreline. Even now, seeing that, well, she almost has, well, actually, for that matter, she has more kills than the rest of her team combined.
Yeah, look, I wouldn't be too happy if I was in a position either, to be honest with you, but it's sometimes just the way the cookie crumbles. Hard Explode's having a bit of a shocker right now. 0 kills so far for her. She's going to want to turn that around, especially playing Hibana. Got to make sure you stay alive. They're going for that double hard breach as well. In the meantime, Rachel, she's picked up that bandit.
Exactly the operator that we've been talking about.
Yeah.
But rather than having him on the active breach denial, Rachel will be prompting to just... Does she still has... No, she has 2 of the bandit charges, so whereabouts are those even placed at this point? I'm trying to find them, but I don't think I can find them all. Maybe they were just shot out there, but she's definitely missing out on the two of them. But in her current position, things might start heating up pretty quickly here.
Ambles is on the Thatcher, so she might have used the Thatcher EMP to stop
Oh, yeah, that
those.
could have been
Who
bad,
knows? That could have happened. Or IQ. She there. She did have a very decent series last week with IQ, considering. But Connie gonna open things up, unsurprisingly. Oh, there they are. We found the bandit traps.
Ah, yes, there they are. Okay.
They're in the baths.
And a fountain. Okay, out of all of the places, this is probably the last thing that I would have expected the bandit batteries to be put up.
Wait, no, it's just a new meta.
Yeah,
Get with the times.
My bad.
Ooh, that peak there. That is
That's-
dirty mint. Deleted it off the server.
Yeah, Control, Delete, and suspend the process called Mint Pit. Or Minty Pit. But for now, Mazikeen just gonna keep on roaming. Keep on trying to find those frags because she got a really nasty flank here coming up. And nearly gets another flick onto Burnabear, but she will be stopped in her tracks. Meanwhile, Coney continues her very scary reign there as she will also be shut down by Burnabear. Now in a 3v1 situation, well, it could be clutchable as, well, just as the moment I say that, it is Rachel.
Go. Noot, they're going to take map number 1, 7-1, a very commanding lead. I didn't expect to see this from them. I was saying this at the start of the series. I expected this series to be a bit closer, just because we hadn't really seen Enix's full potential, but Noot doing a really good one. Oh, sorry, 6-1, but still at the moment, Noot just looking way too strong. I don't see Enix coming back into this.
Yeah, well, maybe we will be seeing a trade of maps once again, like we just seen with the first series, where Trinity and Vertex ended up trading 2 maps. So maybe we'll be seeing Enix 2 make a comeback on the second map. But yeah, so far it is definitely looking through and through to be Noot's way here, considering the fact that, well, it is Enix's map pick, correct?
To locate and defuse bombs.
This one is, this is Noot's map pick. So next map, Stank. Yeah, this is Noot's, which probably makes sense why they're winning it.
Yeah, that makes sense then, yeah. Yeah, if it is Noot's map pick, then yeah, most definitely this is they're just proving that they know their stuff through and through. And they're just keen to just close it out as quickly as possible. For their defense here, they are bringing somewhat similar lineup to what Enix did, albeit that they now have, once again, the Bandit, with Rachel's unusual Bandit battery positions as we've seen before, and Mazikeen actually bringing in an Ella, who has seen quite a minimal amount of showcase in the previous matches, but her utility could be quite big here, considering the moment the push will start to happen, those mines will be of great usage.
I do like that we didn't see when Enix was defending these sites, is that rotation hole between them, which really caused their downfall in that last round of the first half. So, Noot thinking things through.
Here's a bit of a interesting thing though for you, Milboss. There's nobody currently on the top floor, and the hatch right above the surface is actually left open.
Yeah, that's an interesting choice. I've got a feeling that might have been Mazikeen on that Ella. Oh no, she's got barbed wire, so I take that back, not her.
Yeah, I mean, getting rid of
the impact frag, I don't know.
Could be. Yeah, but getting rid of Coney though, that is going to be a huge frag here for Enix to kick things off, maybe for their comeback, considering that Coney has been pretty much the main reason why a fair few of these player count situations were turned in favor of Noot.
Just looks like Ambles is distracted by the drone there, chasing it around.
Being mesmerized by roly-poly.
Like a cat with a laser, as she's going to shot out one of the little concussion grenades left by Mazikeen. In the meantime, Bear still providing the goods. Rachel's going to go down. That's the bandit. That's a huge kill. Not only does it open things up for the rest of their team to get some of those hard reaches in, also it's one of the tricky aromas potentially out of action, but Bear will get traded out. So the top fragger, the star player here for Enix in this game, is down as well. Mazikeen's going to trade for another one. That's Mint Tippett.
Ooh, and that is the diffuser as well.
Oh, that's huge. That's massive.
Because right now for Mazikeen, she can hold her angles here and she can go into those firefights. She just got peaked here by the IQ, and well, the position will be much more favorable for the German operator. And for Ella, this might be just it, albeit I'm not too sure if she actually does realize that the down did happen. But Enix, fantastic take, as Noot did end up paying quite a price for not having a whole lot of presence up above.
Yeah, well, there you go. This is the one thing that Enix have over Noot on this map seems to be the Vent Workshop bombs. They won one defense, they've won one offense. 6-2.
Yeah. 6-2 scoreline, so yeah, still Noot have guaranteed themselves at the very least a draw, so that's not a bad position to be in. Whereas the pressure for Enix is starting to rise further and further. They don't have any more rounds, any more of that kind of mistake buffer. And, well, with that comes the fact that, well, they can't really make a whole lot of mistakes as well for themselves here.
I think what I liked, in the last few seconds of that last round, she obviously able to clutch it up there. Well done to her. But Mazikeen going down, she didn't just sit there and wait for potentially someone to pick her up or a team to win the rest of the round. She actually started to crawl over to the bomb to make sure it was still there, to the diffuser, sorry, to make sure it was still there. So she, while she's bleeding out, is able to tell her teammates, well, look, they might be heading towards site, but we've still got the diffuser up here. They're going to have to come back for it. So I like the idea behind that. Obviously, in the end, they're just not working out, but we're going to stay in Workshop events. This time around, Mazikeen opting to 6-pick the Legion after swapping out from the Ella from last round.
I mean, Legion, even after the nerf that he received in the most latest patch with Operation Void Edge, he's still a very viable operator choice, considering that first of all, he still prevents you from sprinting, that's one. You still receive some tick damage after you step on him, and you generate the sound cue for the defenders to really play off. Actually, for the defenders and the attackers, for that matter. So, he's still very much of a viable operator to play with, to slow down the pushes, to slow down the rushes, and say, for a player that is Mazikeen, this would have been a good position to play off and a good operator to play off. But Bear once again opens the scoreline up in favor of Enix.
Yeah, she's been almost unbeatable at finding those opening frags this half. This game, 16-7, absolutely decimating. But, those individual players can't always win your games, and that's the case right now. It's a little bit more even over on the Noot side. Connie, obviously, the standout with 12 kills, but then you've got both Rachel and Mazikeen on 7, Chloe on 5, and Jordan playing a bit more of a supportive role with 2.
Yeah. Meanwhile, Chloe is in a bit of a peculiar position, same as Coney actually, who just are too far away from each one another, so they won't be able to assist each other here in these peaks. But she wants to get that frag. She knows that there's a Jaeger, but she doesn't want to overly aggress. Instead, Coney will just continue gaining herself even more kills, but pretty far through the metal barricade. Won't be really bringing Chi anything here.
Oh my god, Connie. You should not be able to find that kill there. She somehow fails. Bernabet gonna find one to trade it back, but 1 versus 4, now to a 1 versus 3. Oh!
Ooh! This is
now it's doable. I take this back. It's doable.
Yeah, the moment Coney went down to that Claymore, things are definitely looking up for Bernabet, considering that she is currently the top fragger of Enix, and she was able to get quite some nice and consistent frags as well. So for her, this is very much workable. She still has drones to use to drone herself out and figure out where to go from, but Rachel could have gone for a C4. She still has it in her pocket, so for her, this is a pretty potent position to play from. For Jordan, same goes here. She still can buff herself up to the full, to actually even further than full health and going for the peak. But instead, Bernabe, deciding to peek. The angle with her back turned will be resulting in Noot winning map number 1.
Yeah, a little bit closer than they might have liked in the end there, but they pull it out of the bag, and there you have it. Map number 1 going in favor of Noot. And again, I think overall, closer rounds than what we saw. Yes, the scoreline makes it look like it was an overwhelming win by Noot, but I think it's fair to say that Enix, they definitely played a lot closer. It came down to the wire a lot more often. This time around, Noot are the guys who have the clutch factor that we needed to see from Enix, and that could just go down to experience with FPS titles and this sort of thing before. Players like Connie that I always big up. I keep on bigging her up like crazy, but yeah, she's definitely one of those people that I look at and I'm like, yeah, she's got clutch factor, she's got experience. So it's going to be really up to Enix to prove me wrong next map as we head to Bank, their map pick.
Yeah, for Enix here, they definitely have the chance here to bounce back, but after a few really questionable rounds, probably the only faith here is going to be for Bernabe to pull out some of the clutches, as she was just an absolute machine on border, really.
Yeah, she was. I think, if I'm not mistaken, Heart Explodes did end up finishing that map without any kills. So unfortunate for her, not a great game, but hopefully she's able to pick it up. You know, she has been more of that support player, so I'm not expecting her to frag like Bernabe. I don't think anyone would be, but definitely want to see at least a couple of frags on the board and helping her team in that way as well. But we're going to go to a quick break while we get map number 2. That's going to be Bank coming at you guys in just a moment. Don't go anywhere.
Introducing Jaeger. Jaeger is a roamer support for a defending team. Playing Jaeger well requires quick decision-making and a good knowledge of potential locations where attackers will assault. Jaeger can use a combination of tactics to help his team create a defensive stronghold, or to roam the map to intercept flanking attackers if necessary. Jaeger is capable of destroying incoming projectiles due to his unique deployable gadget, the Active Defense System, or ADS. Mountable on either floors or walls, the ADS will destroy most incoming hostile projectiles in its line of sight, protecting Jaeger and his teammates. The ADS counters a number of unique attacker abilities, taking the sting out of an assault. The ADS can be dispatched easily by attackers, so deploying them in enemy blind spots is crucial to their lifespan. In order to be effective, they must have a clear line of sight inside the defending area to easily catch incoming projectiles. Try using the ADS in overlapping deployments to maximize their coverage area. Don't deploy your ADS in areas where they do not cover key projectile entry points.
In week 3 of the Esports R6 Women's League, Trinity continued their clean sweep, winning both maps against Enix.
A really good job of dealing with Clash on that particular window. But obviously that's not an option. Aria with a double kill. Triple kill.
Making it 3.
Hart and Binksy.
Oh, Mixie, that angle. Finds the leg. Shuts the nade down, so that's going to finish off. Heart explodes. In the background, Burn a bit. And Aria, she's gone and got a third kill. Can she find a fourth? Oh, she's got the fourth. There you go, Trent. And there we go, Aria. Aria, though, misses her shots there. So the Jaeger of Chi is going to be able to finally find a kill. Take out that #1 player, the top dog on this Trinity squad. Burnabout doing the same thing.
We'll have heard her running up these blue stairs, and there's the pre-fire to take her down.
The second match, we saw Viking Army fight back hard, but Vertex in the end regained the lead and took out both maps.
Trying to move away from there, but she is taken down from the stairs as she runs away from the fuse charge. That's chaotic with the rotation to central hallway.
5 seconds left. Can they make this one work? Weird one, a massive kill onto Qatari. Can they get the diffuser down in time?
Attackers are activating.
There we go. And it's a 1 versus 2. Good luck trying to get on that defuse there. Brucey and Pivoping now. How do they approach this? They are getting tagged up. They're getting marked as well. And Nugget, she's going to find the second one onto Pip. Chaotic and Shy, they have to now retake not only the site, but the diffuser. Oh, through the wall. Pivoping, good night. Chaotic, she's about to do it. Finds the second one. Third one down around the corner. Doesn't spot her out. Few shots come through. Chrissy, can she find the kill? Absolutely not. And Chaotic goes huge for her team.
We would like to thank our sponsors, Legion Energy and Computer Alliance, as well as our partner Ubisoft, for supporting women in gaming.
Well, what a night it has been so far, Cthulhu. We are in the last map of the night here between Noot and Enix. And after that first map, do we expect it to go any other way than a Noot dominant victory?
I mean, really, before the match started, we were talking about how close could this be, and that Enix did have some good potential, but unfortunately, during the first map, that wasn't Noot's pick, all things considered. They weren't able to really pop off. So for now, for map number 2, we do have Bank, which is Enix's pick.
Yeah.
And, well, they need to, at the very least, pull out either a draw here or just to make up maybe a comeback. We did see a similar case in the series number 1, where we did see first both of the teams trade their own map picks. So potentially here, Enix could make a comeback after a bit of a wake-up call. But Noot thoroughly has been in control of the pace throughout the whole map 1.
Yeah, I think it's fair to say, like, looking at those at the map pick ban phase, definitely the way that Noot went about it, it was a little bit more strategic maybe. You know, they do been banging about it all night, but they do have a little bit more experience when it comes to esports in general, in terms of how this sort of stuff works compared to more of a pickup team like Enix. But Enix have developed a lot and they have grown a lot over the last couple of weeks that they've been playing. So I'm very excited to see how they going into the final week of matches. They, of course, had their break week number 1, so they've still got next week to go as well. But, of course, they'll be playing, I think, Viking Army next week, which is going to be definitely a winnable match for them. But even here, I think it's clear to see that these guys are matching up quite closely with Noot in terms of the actual rounds themselves seem a little bit closer, but it's just Noot have that clutch factor. So going into this next map, Bank, as you said, it's going to be a big one for them. Let's see if they can't pick up their map pick. And in the meantime, let's have another quick look at Bank.
Well, back in bank. Second time of the night. Last time around, we saw a very dominant Trinity win. That was a 7-1 victory over Vertex. Is this going to be a similar case here for Noot, or can Enix potentially get an unexpected win here as we head into the operator ban phase? Apart from Mira, anything that we're sort of expecting? Hibana, she's going to be the first one out.
Yeah, Hibana being banned out will limit the possibilities of the attack to really breach. You would be forced to really rely on either Maverick to have a really quick and nice opening of the hatches, or you would need just Thermite. So things might get a little bit dicey. Maybe Thatcher will be banned out here as well too, and make things harder for the attack. But instead, it will be a Jackal.
We head over now to the defensive side of things. Enix. They seem confident with their ban, and it's going to be Clash, as I'm expecting this last one to be a Mira.
I mean, Mira, yeah, will be a bit of a usual suspect here for the ban, considering that she does change things around quite substantially, especially for the defense, and makes things much easier to defend. But maybe we'll be seeing something a bit off unusual, and there it is. Actually, Mira will not be banned.
Interesting. That could definitely throw a spanner in the works. Maestro going out there. Not what I necessarily expected.
I mean, Maestro has been used quite frequently on Border by both the teams, I believe. Actually, mainly Enix, but this could definitely throw a spanner in the works in general into towards Enix, considering the fact that, well, straight away, the moment Mira slips through the ban phase, Chloe will be the one to be picking her up, and I'm honestly a little bit interested here, considering that, okay, Coney does bust out her comfort pick in face of Jaeger, but Rachel once again bringing in a recruit for the defense. I mean, it's cool, yeah. You can still have the C4s, and instead of C4s, Rachel will rather have the oh wait, no, she does have C4, pardon. She has the C4 and the bulletproof camera, so the info gathering will be still in place. But why not bring a smoke? Because with smoke you have also those 3 gas grenades. They can delay so much time in such a big area, right when, say, the push is just about to happen.
Yeah, look, it's a choice. Not sure if it's a good one, but it's a choice nonetheless. As we'll see now, that Mira is going to be a game changer, and first time that we've seen her not banned out. And she's being used in the exact way that you'd expect. Chloe setting her up, watching over through server, using the watching towards server, using the unreinforced wall so that she can get some shots through the wall as well. Of course, then you do open yourself up to being wall banged, but nevertheless, a risk that she's willing to take here, as the action phase is well underway. Minutes 30 remaining on the clock, and how do we go about this one, Enix? How are you going to make this one work?
I mean, here right now, Mazakin's position might be very crucial for her team to succeed here, considering that she's the sole roamer. But on the part of Mira's hold, finally now she does reinforce that wall, because this was probably the main place where Mira could be quite easily shot out of, and now she won't be in that position. Behind the Mira window will be quite potent with the sheer amount of C4s that can be thrown out.
Yeah.
That position by Rachel is a bit questionable there, to say the very least, but I'm not gonna. Who am I to judge?
Look, she's the one who's making the play here. If it works out in her favor, great. If not, blame it on the recruit. I don't know.
Yeah, true.
She's put herself in an interesting situation either way, no matter how she looks at it.
Interestingly enough, Enix are being extra careful about clearing out the top floor. They did know about the position of Mazakin that was on the ground floor, and well, now she's down and the Legion is off the board fairly early into the bush.
Yeah, that's going to be very helpful, especially as the time dwindles down. Those goo mines can really wreak havoc. Don't have to worry about it this time around. Gonna start using the drones a bit more. This is what we were, myself and Masukai were praising Enix on last week, was they'd really stepped up their game in terms of drone usage. They really started to grasp the fundamentals of breach and clear, more or less. I don't know a better way to put it, breach and clear. And hopefully that's what they're able to work on here. As 4 players still left on Noot. Time is slowly running out though, 40 seconds remaining. Enix need to consider making a play for it quite quickly. How do they go about it here? What do you reckon, with limited time left, what's the best plan of attack from here?
Well, with limited time, indeed, the push needs to start happening really here from the main stairs, and they need to pry open that position of Chloe, considering that the wall is very much soft, so a quick impact charge will be very much workable here. But I am thoroughly lost here as to why, what, or how. Where's the push? Where's been the plan? Because they are not making it anytime soon. There's the absolute just scroll down and spray down here by Chloe and Cody, and well, Noot are just gonna drain out the time so quickly.
I don't understand.
That was pretty much just a cry from the depth of your soul.
Why? You leave it with 10 seconds left and you've got a mirror to face up against. Like, come on, think about it. You had such a promising start to the round. You had the woman advantage as well, and then you just throw it all away. It's heartbreaking stuff. It really is.
Indeed. Well, after a bit of a peculiar turnout for the first round, Noot did manage to find themselves a point.
Attackers need to locate
and
as many bombs as they can.
I'll be absolutely honest, I'm just as lost as you are here, Millboss. Just with the way how just things so far have been went down. It should have been, it could have been a round for Enix to take, but they've wasted way too much time on just crouch walking throughout the whole map.
Yeah, this is what I'm saying. They're playing these rounds so close. They have the potential to win, but letting the time run out like that is just a rookie mistake. And I know these girls aren't professionals who have been playing at the top flight for years. I know they don't have the experience like that, but you know, these are just the fundamentals. I was picking them up for their fundamental use of the drones and breaching and clearing and all that sort of stuff, but they just wasted so much time. And it's not a game where you can really toy around with time that much. So hopefully they address that mistake and improve it going into round number 2.
Well, one would only hope. Chloe with a double mirror setup coming out here has the potential of making things very much interesting for herself and the team, as well as that for the attacking team probably as well to a certain degree. Meanwhile, Enix's position here is very much stacking up right at the stock room, and Mazikeen for the second time in a row going for the full roam, this time with using a Caveira.
Yeah, Kavira. We haven't seen a lot of her this season either. Every now and again, gonna be a very vital roaming role, I should say. Sorry, but by the looks of things, no one from Enix really going to be making their way through the basement floor. So, for the most part, they're going to have to worry about the top floor. Here you can see She, Hart, Ambles, all upstairs, going for a bit of verticality here potentially. Trying to really constrict Noot, and they've found the first kill. It's going to be Mint Tippet again. And the Kavira, first operator down. That's not what you want from your heavy roamer.
Yeah, the choice of Kavira from the get-go is a little bit questionable here, considering that if you manage to make her work, she's a force to be reckoned with. But the moment you lose her out, you lose out on probably like just a full-on pretty much slot for the operator, which could have been utilized to a much better degree. So overall, I mean, Noot did manage to come back on previous round with a similar fashion. So for now, the only thing for Enix right now is to just keep chipping away at the positioning that so far Noot have. Hello, Jordan.
The headshot
Nice
comes
shot.
through from Jordan. She doesn't take a
Dropped the
single
bomb diffuser.
bit of
Attackers
damage
recovered the
either.
bomb diffuser.
And she's also well aware of players being above her, as shots did sort of rain down. A little bit of footsteps she would have probably heard right above her, so she should be aware of that. So now it's a level playing field.
The attacker's bomb
Noot, Noot.
diffuser has been dropped.
They only have to hold on for 15 more seconds, and again, Enix have dropped this down to just the wire remaining hard explosive. She's going to find her first kill of the series. She should go down in just a second here, but with only 5 seconds remaining, they need to get this diffuser onto the bomb site. Can they make it happen? They're trying to come on through. It's going to be just hard explosive with that diffuser, and again, time runs out.
What are you doing, Enix?
Enix, they have a good idea about approaching some of the pushes, but it seems that they're just absolutely lost as to what do they want to do, because I would imagine probably they are looking at finding initially few kills before making their push onto the side, but due to the nature of how Noot are playing, it's not really happening, and because of that they end up slowing down, then slowing down even more, and by the time when it's time to really to go in for the push, to go in for the rush in, they seem to be a little bit toothless on some of these engagements. So
yeah,
for Noot though, this is just the perfect opportunity to play off, really.
Yeah, I mean, they don't really have to take too many risks. They're just allowed to anchor down on side and wait for the eventual but non-existent push from Enix, realistically. So now we head up to CEO and executive. And I think if there was one thing that I can take away from that last round that Enix did really well, it was getting that top floor control really early on. They were able to completely dominate that. Pardon me, but as you say, they just didn't do much with it. So heading into this round, can they do the opposite? Can they get that lower ground, the basement control, and work their way up? And that's going to be what is potentially going to be the game changer. Map control, something they haven't really had too much of in the series so far, and in this map at least. And of course, if you guys want to get in touch with us or start a conversation, definitely use our Twitter. Tweet us at xpesports. Let us know what you're thinking. Make sure, of course, to follow the Twitch stream if you haven't already. We've got one more week of regular season play, and then we've got the finals coming up after that. So if you want to make sure you stay up to date when we're live, all that sort of thing, make sure to follow the Twitch. But here we go, action phase well underway, and Enix, we need a little bit more haste, I think, is the right word for it.
Attackers have located a bomb.
Haste it certainly looks like to be, but Jordan is also quite hasty on finding that shot. Another gunfight that she will be getting into, but this time won't be very fortunate. She to find a shot onto the dock player of Noot, and that is a very quick, very swift trade from the very beginning of the round, and that is a huge one actually in favor of Noot, because that is the Thatcher of board, and so much utility was not yet used by the SAS operator.
Yeah, it's a very vital operator to lose on a roam. Usually your dock player is going to be one of your hard anchors. And I just read in the chat, someone said IQ screams when she finds a bomb, and she just did then. That is a lovely character trait. Guys, I found the bomb! It's over here! Let everyone know that you're there.
Yeah, let everyone know that you're there. Thankfully, though, the defending side doesn't actually hear all those callouts that has been made, but what they will be hearing is those bullets whizzing right into the heads as she will be falling down to a really nice angle that Chloe had. But yeah, I mean, that is quite a trade that IQ has. Oh, hello. Salute.
Chloe's still holding some nice angles here behind the racks. Oh, the timing! She turns away just at the wrong second, but she goes for the repeg.
That could have been quite deadly if Bear was able to catch her off as well at that time. But going for another repeg.
With some cojones here, goes for the repeg again. My lord, she really wants this kill onto Mint Tippet, and she just about almost finds it, but she will get dropped there. Oh, Chloe.
Naughty.
Down.
Chloe's just having, it seems like she's having quite a heap of fun, really. Just continuously peeking everything and everyone and just getting those frags real nicely. I believe that was actually a 4K, including the down person, so, I mean,
Yeah.
well done.
4K for Chloe. I mean, definitely one of the players that's been consistent with some very good supportive fragging, but we haven't really seen a standout round from her, so that changes now as we head into round 4. Kavira's back on the table. Mazikeen keen to get that one up and running again, and hopefully this time for her sake she's going to actually be able to do a bit of roaming and not become the aroma of death.
Yeah. The huntress became the hunted previously, and well, now he's hoping for her that she will be able to execute it better. 3 rounds in a row, though, no loss so far. Do you reckon we might be seeing a similar trend to come out from map number 2?
Look, it seems like it for the most part, although I think it's fair to say that these rounds have been a lot closer than even the first map were, and Noot has had a couple of problems in the first 2 rounds at least. They had a couple of issues where Enix almost were able to win it out, just the time ran out. So in terms of the actual rounds themselves, if Enix started their pushes maybe 20 seconds earlier, you see Enix 2-1 up right now, in my opinion.
Okay.
Obviously that last round, easy 4K there for Chloe, able to shut that down. Can't see Enix winning that, but in those first 2 rounds, Enix had a chance to do it if they just started their push a little bit earlier.
Yeah, that is a pretty valid point here, considering that the first 2 rounds did end up being unnecessarily drained out, but here Mazikeen's position, which actually, funnily enough, won't be actually seeing a whole lot of action, at least just yet, so she will need to be staying a little bit patient here. Has definitely the potential to be played out really well, albeit the blown up hatch right above the surface should be a bit of a sign that maybe this could be one of those rotation positions. And well, for Mazikeen right now, her position has just been revealed that she was at the ground floor, so the hunt may just start now.
Yeah, look, it's one of those dead giveaway situations. But here we go. Looks like they're going for the crab walk technique.
Yet again.
They've hit up the Strat Roulette website. And crouching around, 1 minute 40 remaining. Need to make something happen here. Mazikeen, I want to see what she can do. Does she go for the deep roam? Yeah, she's going to be up in open area. This could be massive if she's able to find 1 or 2. Preferably 2 for her sake. Maybe even go for... Oh, she's heard them. Oh, she should be... Oh, no, she's been spotted out, though. She's going to pull out the SMG. Smart play here. She'll get a tag into Bear, but she's just going to run away, and that's the smart decision. You don't want to be caught napping in a situation like that when there's not a hell of a lot of cover to work with. Oh, she's going to find one. Can she go for the interrogation here? Nope, decides against it. Should find a second. No, she doesn't. Bear's going to be able to trade that.
I mean, it was a decent idea to initially go for a interrogation, but with all the shots flying right past her, it wouldn't have been a very much advisable, considering that then the Thatcher would have been picked up, and well, from there it would have been a quick and easy breach for Enix. So a good beginning, albeit that probably Mazikeen would have wanted that that interrogation to come out, because if that would have happened, then Coney would have had a field day of roam here. But alas, with 20 seconds left to go, once again, time is of the essence here for Enix.
Let me just put it out there. Random guess. They're going to run out of time again. Wild suggestion, but...
That's as wild as it gets. Oh my.
Oh boy, they're going to run on through here. The mirror doing work. No, Ambles is going to find a team kill. Runs out of bullets. And again, they run out of time. I don't understand.
Look at Berners is staring at Bandit whilst reloading as well.
Not only do they run into the site with like 5 seconds remaining, you've got the mirror window right there.
You've got 3 players behind it. They find that first kill. Okay, great. But then you're running on through. I don't even know who it was. I think it might have been Bear running out of ammo and then completely forgets to swap to the pistol. So then she sees Jaeger. Connie doesn't have anything to shoot her with, so they don't even do anything to each other. I think they were both reloading. But then you've also got a team kill coming in from Ambles, which doesn't help situation. It's confusing me how they just keep on doing this. Third time in a row, not in a row, but third time they've done this.
Yeah, it's. I mean, honestly, this is quite questionable here. I gotta say, on the side of Enix, as
is it just like time is not some abstract concept that's only relevant to Rainbow Six Siege? Like,
even in CS, even in other shooter games, time is
every
definitely
game ever in real
Yeah.
life. Time is a constant factor. You always have to think about how much time you got left for certain things. How is it such a foreign concept to these girls? I just don't get it.
10 seconds left.
Hey, maybe it's just some of the strats were not aligning. Maybe some of the astrology signs didn't really align. You never know.
Yeah, that could be true. One of them woke up today, they got their horoscope and it said, yeah, look, you're just going to forget to look at your clock all day. And there we go. I don't know if that's how astrology works. I don't really subscribe to that sort of thing.
Imagine a horoscope, just the only thing that you will see on a horoscope is just this ain't it, chief. Oh my, talking about this ain't being not it, chief. Coney goes in for an aggressive peek, gets a double, potentially has a ground for a triple here as well, but pixel peek, does spot, but will get outspotted here by Mint Tippet. And Mazikeen as well adds the fuel to the fire as well, with now making it a 4v2 in a matter of just less than a minute.
Yeah, about 45 seconds have gone by and already a major disadvantage here for Enix. This is starting to look like just... I don't even know how to describe what I'm watching right now. It completely does not compute. I'm not claiming to be a good Rainbow Six Siege player. I know I'm not, but this is on another level of just not being aware of what's going on, not having that time management skill, which is such an important part of most FPS titles, most games in general. There's going to be that factor of time management, money management, whatever it is, there's that one thing, and in Siege, it's time. Got to be wary of your time. You got to know where you're coming from, and everyone filtering through that one tiny opening, back in the basement. It's just not the play.
And with Amballs as well, trying to blend a normal breaching charge. Well, actually, no, pardon. That was the thermite charge onto electrified. Well, certainly something that you shouldn't really be seeing, but with all the potato shots coming through from both the sides, as Chloe just comes around and says, "Children, sit down. Allow me to demonstrate the better aim."
Yeah, I mean, this round just comes down to aim. Connie just going for that early aggressive borderline spawn peak there. Really just set things into a downward spiral for Enix, but after a couple of rounds that they realistically should have been able to win had they just started their push that little bit earlier. It's so disappointing to see, because you can see the strategy there. You can see what they're attempting, what they're trying to go for. It's just not paying off in the way that they want it to.
They even have all the fragging utility as well to emphasize all their plays. It's literally just goes down to just the time mismanagement. I'm certainly fully agreeing with you here, Millboss. Just it's unfortunate to see for Enix, but hey, maybe once they're gonna get on the defense, things might be looking much better there for them. But
hopefully, because then they don't have to worry about time so much. They don't have to worry about running out of time. Rather, you'd prefer to run out of time when you're on the defensive side. But I think that's the one thing you can't take away from this Enix squad is they've got some really good aim players. There's no doubt about that. Mint Tippet, has had some really good rounds. She's had a couple of good kills. Bear obviously slaying like an absolute crazy woman right now. This game, not so much as map number 1, but still having an impact every now and again. You can't deny that fact, but at the same time, it's just that mismanagement of time. Maybe it's the lack of leadership. I don't know what's going on. It could be something like that.
No boss. That boss is on the -5 points because of that TK.
Oh yes, that will happen.
That is unfortunate.
At least she's not on negative kills. It could be worse.
True. That is very, very true here. Right, well, for Enix, their final offense round here. Will be trying to make something work here on the CEO defense that so far has been probably the closest one. Well, it did go down purely to the frag power of Chloe on that UMP, but this time Chloe is playing on a whole different operator, and this time the setup does look also quite different for Noot, considering that they do have Mazakin here on the Legion. And I believe Jordan is there in the elevators as well on that anchor position. So Noot has got some good positioning overall, but
Attackers have located
can they close it out in 6-0 fashion, though? That will be the crazy question here.
Look, I'm honestly expecting it to go no other way. And so far, oh, she's gone for it. She's taken the bait here, Ambles. And she should find her imminent death. There's someone just over towards the stairs, or maybe on top of the elevator. I can't quite tell.
Yeah, that was one on top of the elevator. Just allow me to show you. So that's where Jordan is, Jordan. On the same floor.
I knew that there was one somewhere close, and they keep on walking through the alibi mirage there. Ambles gonna be the first to fall. He's gonna be able to find a trade frag through that hole in the wall. Chloe though, obviously likes this site because she's found yet another kill here. Going 10-11. In fact, Chloe's 11-0 right now. She hasn't died the entire game. Jordan will fall. There we go. It's down to Chi. She needs a 1 versus 3 win. This is going to be the pig coming out, and Noot, they're going to win the half 6-0. Mazakin cleaning things up.
That's a harsh position right now for Enix. They still yet to find a point here on their own map pick, and looking so far at the way how things been going, this is probably going to be their one and only chance here to keep themselves running in these series. Unfortunately to them, they weren't able to find any success in offense, which is quite disheartening to see, but alas, it's the better team that wins here, and so far it looks like Noot are just on a whole new level here.
Yeah, it's something else, and I definitely didn't expect this. I mean, I expected this at the start of the season going into it, seeing Connie on a team, some of the players on this team, that we would see them being one of the more dominant forces. Then after seeing some lackluster results, if I'm being honest, didn't necessarily expect to see them go so strongly against this Enix lineup. But here we have it. This is the way the cookies crumbled for them, and they're potentially about to win this one 7-0.
And well, prior to that, we do actually see a slight change around of the lineup that so far the defense has. We do see a mirror to be coming out, but also we do see an operator that has been seen quite rarely on the side of Noot, and that is the Echo. And so the beauty of Echo, for those who are new to the game, is the fact is that his yokai drones are able to deny the plant. They can reset your whole animation whilst you're being dazed, and the yokai drone can also get cloaked whilst it's stuck to the ceiling. So it could definitely be the big leverage here if Enix would be able to run down the clock to the wire.
Yeah, look, I mean, layman's terms, it's basically the most OP diffusal. Does that doesn't make sense?
Diffuser denial. Yeah.
Yeah, that look. I was going for something smart there, and it ended up making me sound dumber than I already am. So here we go. Action phase underway, and Noot, they're climbing up to the roof. Chloe and Rachel up there. We've seen some interesting plays by Rachel. Not gonna lie, with the recruit and the thermite upside down. Repelling.
Yeah, Rachel has been definitely seeing quite some unusual appearances throughout the matchup, but hey, maybe she'll bust a move here as well. Now, I am curious about Mazakin's position, because right now she could be very strong.
That's huge. Not only did Mazakin find that information that the mirror was there, but the mirror saw the drone. So she should have been expecting the push coming out of Garrett, but she doesn't. Hard explodes, turns around,
facepalm moment there as Mazakine's going to find the opening frag of the round, and that opens this entire, both of these bomb sites right up. You've got your main stairs and you've got garage completely wide open. This is, how do you allow that to happen? Surely she saw the drone there and she was able to.
Yeah, at the moment things are looking a little bit questionable here, but Mazikine does actually manage to return back to her team, whereas it is Bernabé that is trying to keep her team alive with such a long angle. My goodness, it is so tight.
I mean, you really got to rely on Bernabé here. I'd say she is really the star player on this team. Surely she spots the pixel of the head there. No, the drone's going to come on through. She's been spotted out, so she's going to have to move, and she can't. Mazakin's going to find that. Mint Tippet will get the trade frag, but is it enough? 2 versus 3 for potentially the 7-0 victory here by Noot. Can Ambles and Mint Tippet do it?
With the Echo down, no more C4 utility here between the two operators. Things are going to be looking quite rough at trying to deny the plan, considering that, well, the push is already in, IQ is already on the side. Jordan does find the shot, and it is all up to Ambles to try to bring this back for Enix. An unfortunately mistimed vault will be resulting in her death, and well, there it is. 7 rounds in a row by Noot. My gosh. That is a pub stomp and a half.
Yeah, I think pub stomp's probably the best best way to say it. As we see Noot come out with a very dominant, commanding victory there, 7-0. One of a few that we've seen so far this season. A couple coming from Trinity, but that's about it. There we go, Noot establishing themselves, potentially trying to contest for that that 3rd place here. That's going to put them in a very nice position, and their round differential is going to be pretty good after that. Obviously, only losing the 2 rounds in the first map and then winning this one 7-0. So that's going to be 14 minus 2, so 12 points being added on. I believe that puts their round count. Let me just get these standings up. I had them up a second ago. So they were -6. So this is going to put them on +6. So they're going to be positive. And Enix, not so much. Not so positive there.
Yeah, for Enix, things initially on paper before this matchup, for Enix, things were looking on stats a little bit decent. They had the potential to bring this back and to push themselves further. But Noot seemed to be completely revitalized. They were just absolutely on a whole new level here against their opponents. And just, props to pretty much the whole Noot squad.
Yeah, I mean, massive turn up from them, having that new player join them midway through the week. In fact, I think it might have only been like yesterday or the day before that Mazikine actually confirmed on their roster for this week's play. So they've been able to, pull out something out of the bag really nicely there. But that's going to do it for week number 4. Vertex Trinity obviously trading maps in their matchup. The first map being Clubhouse. That was a 7-2 victory by Vertex. And then on bank between those two was a 7-1 to Trinity. This time around, we saw Noot dominant 2-0 win there by winning 14 rounds and losing only the 2. So at the moment, we're still seeing the ladder the way it was. Vertex and Trinity both receiving their first loss as well, but they are going to keep it that way. Vertex, though, probably going to drop to 2nd place, I'd say, after next week's games. Of course, Noot playing Trinity. Honestly, that could even decide 2nd place. If Trinity have a bad game, that could decide 2nd place.
Yeah, that could definitely be quite a game changer here, considering that Noot is now a force to be reckoned with, albeit that with the way how Trinity tonight played out on the first map, if you have a good map choice and map ban time, you might be pushing yourself at a very nice position. But let's take a look at the results that we so far had throughout the whole day today.
Yeah, so the 1-1 and the 2-0 at the end of today, and I think, Trinity, if they really wanted to win the season just off these games before we get to the finals, they had to win both maps tonight. Vertex holding them off might just do it. I did say Trinity, they've got the chance to go to the top next week. They definitely do. But if Noot are able to put in a bit of practice this week, we're all home. No one's got work at the moment for the most part. So all the more time to practice, VOD review, all this sort of stuff. That definitely could be a matchup where we see quite a close game. I know I was hyping up Vertex and Trinity last week. I was saying it's going to be such a close game. It wasn't. I mean, it was a close series. They both took a map, but in terms of the actual games themselves, not so close.
Yeah, it was definitely very, very one-sided scorelines. Actually, through and through tonight, really. Vertex had some really good performance on the first map where they grabbed, I think it was 7-2 scoreline. And then Trinity 7-1, and then Noot just complete dominance 2-0 here with what I believe 7-2 and 7-0. So
7-2, 7-0, yeah.
Yeah. I mean, well played for all of these teams, and massive congrats for Noot for getting that much of a large advancement in the ladder. So, yeah.
Yeah. I mean, that's going to put them up at what? So 6 games played. They're now going to be on 3 wins and 3 losses, whereas Trinity will be on 5 wins and 1 loss. So going into the next series, it's really going to come down to the round count. If they're able to absolutely decimate Trinity, which is going to be a tough one, they can potentially do it. Now they're +6. So it is potentially possible, if my maths is correct. It probably isn't, knowing me, because it's been a while since I did maths, but it might just be possible for Trinity, just based on those wins now being 3. Sorry, if they're able to get to 5 wins and match Trinity's win number, that could definitely be the case. So we'll have to wait and see for that next week. Talking of next week, we've got the schedule up, I believe, ready to go for you guys. So Viking Army up against Enix. That's really going to be, the battle for the bottom. I was saying this matchup was, but I reckon we're down to the wire here. Viking and Enix both struggling tremendously.
Yeah, and following up, it will be Noot versus Trinity, probably the biggest decider here, really, for both of those teams, really. So, and quite a few storylines will be actually forming, no matter what will be the final outcome here. So, I mean, honestly, I'm thoroughly excited for the next week.
Yeah, it's going to be a massive final week of main season games. That's going to be coming up next Wednesday, April 1st. Of course, same damn place, same damn time. And, of course, after that, we've got the finals. We'll be having a playoff for 3rd place, 4th place playoff, and then the grand final coming up a couple of days later. So that's going to be April the 5th and 8th. Make sure to put that in your calendar. Again, no one's got to go to work or anything, so make sure you're here. Follow the Twitch, follow our Twitter at XPEsportsOz, and make sure you keep up to date with everything going on. But I think that just about wraps it up. It's been an amazing night of games. I've been very happy to be able to enjoy them alongside Cthulhu for stepping in for Sukai this weekend. Any closing thoughts or ideas about this week's games?
I mean, honestly, it's a pleasure to be involved in all of this. It's a pleasure to see some of these absolute bomb burner of games. And, well, I mean, congrats to Noot, first of all, to getting those points. And same actually goes for Vertex and Trinity. Those 2 teams were able to get themselves a point each. A few points each. So
yeah,
overall, not a bad, probably not the worst, not the best outcome. So nice kind of even ground.
Yeah, and even rank between our top 2 at the moment, but it's not all over until the Fat Lady sings, and that is going to be next week, guys. So make sure you join us next Wednesday night. It is, of course, going to be more Rainbow Six Siege Women's League, the final games of the regular season. On behalf of the whole team at XP Esports and all of our partners and sponsors, we thank you for joining us this week. Of course, we will catch you guys later. Good night.
my eye on the dance floor, eye on the